Buckle up, boys. This is going to be a long episode.
Every choice made has led to this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another Ahsoka-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Drew.
And we are back with Ahsoka Season 1, Episode 8, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Hey!
Stealing my thunder, Andrew.
I'm glad that someone else was going to say that.
But yes, the Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord, which is intentionally mimicked after Narnia. But I thought that was a funny title that they had for Narnia, Will says. So this is the finale. We finally made it
here,
and we're glad to have Andrew here with us.
It's
for
me.
the finale. It happened to line up just right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a crazy 24 hours in the Discord with people freaking out about this episode. So we might as well just jump into it because this is going to be kind of long. I'm going to try and go a little bit faster tonight with how we do the breakdown, but we'll see how that goes. Famous last words. But
you should just not say anything, Jeremiah.
I have to.
It's like when I'm editing, I'll sit down to edit a video and I'll literally look at McKay and be like, I feel like this one's going to be nice and short. It's going to be pretty easy. Or like I'll sit down to film to actually play and film a cover or something. And I'm like, yeah, like this one, it feels really easy and blah, 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 blah. And then those are the ones that always take like another 6 hours. So
right.
You should just be like, this is going to be a 12-hour episode, guys. Strap in. And then when it's only 3 hours, everyone's like, whew, now I can go use the restroom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying? What are your guys' overall thoughts of this episode?
Drew, go.
I don't want to go.
Okay, fine. I'll go. It's like I was hoping to catch you right before you put your straw in your mouth.
I want to go first because, go.
Oh, so now you have to go first because of what you just said. Go.
No, I don't want to go first.
Oh my gosh. Okay, fine. I'm doing it. Jeremiah looks like he's gonna kill us. Okay, I'll go first. Okay, so this was. I don't know if this is my favorite episode, because of how hard the feels the Anakin episode got me, but it's definitely a contender for my favorite episode. Like solid 9.5 out of 10 for me. I thought it was great. I thought the music in this episode in particular was the best out of all the episodes. Like this was the one. So it's actually funny because like all the other times that I've been on, Jeremiah, you've been like the music, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And I haven't even noticed it. And I feel really bad because I'm the musician of the group too. But this episode, the music literally was to such a level that it literally caught my attention in certain moments because of how impactful it was for me, which is always a really fun experience for me. So the music was phenomenal. I thought it was just insane, especially at the very end, when they do the major version of the Ahsoka theme instead of the minor version.
Yeah.
The motif is changed a little bit to obviously fit the kind of more hopeful moment, but I love that part. Let me see. I still have some nitpicks with Thrawn, which we'll talk about. It's because I'm reading through the Ascendancy books, right? And I'm literally reading through the third one right now. So it's like, it's been really weird to like be so into Thrawn from the books and then see him and be able to compare the two.
Do we have you on since he appeared?
Yeah, we had him on the first time
Yeah.
when you fat shamed Thrawn.
Yeah.
I can't even.
Which is funny because oh yeah, sorry, I'm reading the chat, but it's funny that you the more episodes I've seen Thrawn in, the more I'm realizing it's probably more so because of where his belt is and how his coat falls. I don't think he's actually as big as he is. It just makes him look larger. But anyways, yeah, I thought this episode was phenomenal. I mean, it definitely had the best action, the best lightsaber duels by far. There were a lot of like really just amazing highlights for me. Ezra, the reunion between him and Hera was just beautiful. The ending of this episode with Ahsoka, Sabine, and Force Ghost Anakin, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. It was so funny. Like the last like 10 minutes was just nonstop insane stuff. I'm trying to think. There were definitely a few times, and I have it on my phone. I have it up on my phone, and I'll have to catch them as they go. But there were like 2 or 3 times specifically, and this first shot is one of them with the Star Destroyer that I looked at Micaiah and I was like, "Yo, this is beautiful." Like the cinematography in this episode specifically was just gorgeous. Yeah, I will say this, and then I'll leave it at this, and then I'll pass it on to Drew. I wish that. And I know wholeheartedly what I'm asking for and how realistic, like unrealistic it probably is. But I wish that the entire season had moved at a similar pace to this episode.
This same as this episode, like
in
nonstop, like 100 miles an hour.
No, not necessarily all of the episode. Like maybe the last like third of each episode contributing to the story in the way this one did, because to me it was like we got this kind of slow burn, and then we got to Peridia, and then especially this last episode, it just felt like we just went 0 to 100 to try to kind of get to the end before the end of the episode. You know what I'm saying? And I wish that the whole season had impacted the story and led up to things in the way this episode did, if that makes sense. So, which obviously we'll talk about more about that, but I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Drew.
This was probably maybe my least favorite episode of this season.
What?
Wow. I was not expecting that.
There was a lot of cool things about it that I really liked. Like
wow.
the zombies. You didn't even talk about the zombies.
Oh yeah, that was a high point for me because the literal death troopers. The death troopers were death troopers. Yeah,
and like what they put in the ship is all the troopers to bring.
I think
back
actually no. I think it's Night Sisters.
I think so. I heard that too. It's all so he has an army of like 10,000 Night Sisters.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's why they're going to death. Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves. So, anyways, continue.
Oh, that'd be okay. That's cool.
Right.
For me, it just we barely got anything like for the content and the story. We were left with so much more, and we have to wait forever to figure out what we're doing. I don't know. A thing that bothered me too is that Hera and Ezra's interaction was way better than Sabine and Hera's.
All of Ezra's interactions, all of them have been better than him and Sabine.
And like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, they've all been better.
So that bothered me because I'm like, when I saw him, like, there's another one, and that one is way even better than the Ahsoka interaction. We talked about that last week, but I don't know. It just felt hollow for me at the end. It was just like we lost Ahsoka, we lost Sabine. We have no idea what we're doing with the other 2 characters, and one of them is literally not going to even like. We don't even know what they're going to do.
They're going to have to recast him.
They're going to have
based on how it ended. It's what he's doing is going to be very influential.
It's going to be pivotal. Yeah.
So there's like that, and then it's just I don't know. It's very I don't know. I was like watching it and I loved a lot of it, but then I just felt so empty at the end of that show that it can't be up there for me because of that. Like I just felt like, what are we doing? And you were saying we are gonna spend 6 hours. I'm like, on what? We got everything.
Yeah,
And we got nothing at the
Jeremiah
same
said that,
time.
and then Drew was like, "What are we doing? 3 movies?"
Yeah, like, are we gonna spend 3 hours debating on movies again from last week? Like, that's the only way they're gonna make this work is if we have more movies than just one. So, I mean, I still stand by that because it doesn't
Well,
make any sense.
since you brought that up, our poll last week: how many Thrawn films will there be to end the Mandoverse
I gotta
story?
turn Jeremiah up.
I did 1, 2, and 3. 52% said 1 movie. 8% said 2 movies, and 40% said 3 movies.
That's a big chunk of people.
So,
But you should ask that this week now. After we got this,
why would it matter?
because we literally got like, how are they going to tell this story without so many
I
people
told
not
you
watching
last
the
week they're
show?
gonna have more Mandoverse TV series before the movie comes out.
I'm just saying the timeline doesn't make any sense for that. If we're gonna get a
Anyway.
movie in 2 years,
Anyway, if you want to hear the full debate on that, go to last week's episode.
yeah. But
and get all
anyways,
the
I don't know. I just
details.
felt there's so many cool things in it, but all of our questions, nothing was answered at all. Like we got nothing. And I'm surprised you guys like it as much as you guys are acting like you do, because that whole Sabine thing, we spent hours debating on it if she's force sensitive and
Yeah,
all that
we'll
stuff.
get to that when we
And
get
now
to
the
it.
Force Awakened in her.
I feel
I
like
don't know why that's not throwing you guys off.
oh, we'll get to that. But I feel like Jeremiah liked it the most. I'm in the middle where I have a lot of really things that I loved and I have some things that I really wish were different. And then Drew's just like, eh.
It's not that I didn't like it. I liked it a lot.
But it was the worst episode of the season.
I think it was one of the worst ones.
That's a
I
Because
don't know how you
think
can say
the
those two
Anakin one
statements
was
at the same
so
time.
much better. The Anakin one was way better than this episode. Hands down, way better than this episode.
I don't think anyone's disagreeing with that.
Yeah, but
Well,
there were some episodes that were way less interesting than this one by a long.
I don't know though, because it was all new and fresh, and I feel like this we wanted to know what was the end result. Like, how are they gonna wait so long? Like, I don't know.
Well,
maybe it's just me impatient.
Thrawn waited what? 7, 9, 52 years?
12 years.
12.
He did his waiting.
Yeah, but
12 years of
wait
it.
Again.
Anybody?
And it's annoying. Is
Anybody?
it not annoying to anyone else that Ezra is the only one that
You've seen Harry Potter, right?
Yeah, but once I don't remember.
Sorry, Gary Oldman. Sirius Black. I've done my waiting. Anyways, Drew, to your point, that's another
Other
thing.
Anyone else that Ezra is the only one that escaped?
Yeah, it's very poetic. That's
I have more of a
George
problem.
Lucas meme. It's like poetry. It rhymes.
It's like it rhymes. Yeah. My thing is that he was able to get off the Star Destroyer the way he was. It wasn't the fact that he made it. Great. He made it awesome. Sick. I think it sets up a good story. My thing was
he stole a ship and flew away.
Yeah, like even if he's in stormtrooper armor, it's well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
He didn't just steal a ship.
He stole Balin's
ship.
Yeah, but anyways, we'll get to that. Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Be our light.
I had to be the Debbie Downer this
Be the optimist.
So I have a hot take.
Ooh, hotter than mine?
Does it involve Andor?
Yes.
Well, indirectly. Well, kind of. So I would say that of all the live action Star Wars TV series, this was the best finale.
Best finale?
Yes.
I don't know.
Better than
season
Mando
3 of
season
Mando
1
was
finale,
pretty
better
good.
than season 2 finale, better than Book of Boba Fett finale, which isn't hard to do.
Okay, well, Book of Boba
Better
Fett shouldn't
than
even be on the freaking list.
better
Honestly,
than the
Hey.
Andor finale, better than Mando season
Mando
3
season
finale.
2?
I was not like all like heartthrob when Luke showed up like everyone else was. Like I
How? Okay, dude.
go back and listen to the episode that we did like 3 years ago on it when you guys yelled at me about that. Like
yeah,
But dude, that was so cool.
yeah. I don't know.
because there was so many we learned so much. We had so many details in this thing.
I'm
So
confused on
new
what we
information,
learned.
so it's
I didn't
so
learn
like
anything.
in depth. This is like you guys ever see that image of um like all the cross references in the Bible like illustrated on that like arch thing where it's
No.
like 65,000 references in the Bible like cross references and it's like illustrated with arcs like against one poster. You should go Google it. That's what I felt like watching this episode where there's so many different references and so many cross references and so many new details. We learned so much. It's all
What did
new
we
information.
learn? I didn't learn one thing except they're zombies.
Here's the thing.
Did you not watch the episode more than once?
I
No,
didn't
I
get to
did
watch it
not.
more than once.
I watched
But
it more than once. I watched reactions on YouTube. I edited through it, so I was watching it over and over again as I edited my reaction video. Go check that out.
Oh yeah, you were off today.
I'm off every Wednesday.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, must be nice.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I will say, Jeremiah, that I think you brought it back to the point that I was making. I wish that what we learned in this, like the amount of stuff that we learned in this episode, was not so concentrated at the end. I guess that's a better way of saying what I was trying to say earlier. I wish there was more.
I'm excited to learn.
Anyways, please
because I have no
continue.
idea what we learned. So I'm excited to be.
And it's not just all learning, but it's also just like the like cross references of like name drops and stuff. Like we got Mother Talzin
Yep.
name drop. Like that's great. Like and
we got
they
the
got
father.
huh?
We got the father.
And the son and the daughter.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that.
What?
Like I didn't realize that. I just saw the one statue and I was like, "Oh, it's the father."
Oh,
You didn't see the son standing next to him
Yeah.
and the daughter missing her head?
Well, I was doing a reaction party. Half the chat was mad that it was ending like that. I don't. There was a lot going on.
did you
I
see
should watch
Morai?
it more than one.
You see Morai?
Yes. Oh, of course.
Okay.
Which I'm still confused. I didn't learn anything. I'm just confused. I don't know what you guys say. We learned.
Well,
we
let
didn't learn anything.
Jeremiah finish
I'm
his
excited
opinion.
to learn, but I didn't learn anything.
So we also learned about the purge on Mandalore. We've been asking questions about that for the last 4 years. Like what happened with
That's
that?
true.
We got information on that. The whole thing with like Ezra rebuilding a lightsaber and
That was cool. That was cool. I forgot
Huyang
about that.
had two of the same parts. One went to Canada. Oh, I just kept it just in case he needed a new one to fix it. And Ezra got it.
Yeah, that was sweet. Okay,
This was definitely
that's true. I do. That
the-
was amazing.
This episode was by far the most Leonardo DiCaprio memeable episode, with the whistle and the point.
yeah.
Oh, right.
This one had the most moments for that.
True.
We got like more character development between Ahsoka and Sabine, with like Ahsoka being like, "Hey, no one stood by me except for my master, so now I got." It's continuing the story of what her legacy is in comparison to Anakin.
Yep.
And it's like, well, Anakin stood by me, and that meant the world to me, so I'm going to stand by Sabine. And so like, there's that. I'm trying to like go back.
Stand by her.
I'm going back to what I posted in the Discord because I put like a list of like a million things. But yeah, it's like since there was all these different. Oh, obviously we mentioned the father, son, and daughter stuff, which was just I didn't expect. But I went back and watched the Mortis arc today, and it's Ahsoka's series is basically based off those 3 episodes of Clone Wars. Like it's crazy how we've all missed all the parallels from those episodes. I'm scrolling up in the Discord right now, so I'm kind of like stalling for time. But yeah, so like
Balin killed his dog and wore it as a coat. We saw that.
He did?
Yeah,
I actually missed that until you just said it. Now I'm mad.
I noticed that he had like a fur coat on, but I didn't
yeah.
think it was like he killed his
It's
his
definitely the
howler.
one. Yeah, he kills one of them.
I
Maybe it
hate
wasn't
that.
his, but he killed one. Everyone's like, "Where did he get that coat?" I'm like, "You guys, what were they writing, and what is he not writing right now?"
That
That's where he got it.
kind of makes sense. That now that that's
Call PETA.
I don't think there's PETA on that planet. Also,
PETA-ridia.
we learned that um, all the Night Sisters were asleep, basically, and imprisoned, and Thrawn freed them.
Mhm.
Like, what's all that about? So now we know why um, the mothers are,
I legit missed that.
because Ahsoka like
About the tower.
asked Ezra like what happened, and when Ezra's talking about it, he's like, Thrawn, he found this place, he rebuilt the ship, he freed the mothers from whatever, so that's why like the mothers are now like in
Like,
alliance with Thrawn because he rescued them in some way, which I think that ties to the father, son, and daughter stuff somehow, because who
you
said
think
it?
they closed the thing? Like, you think they put
Because
them to sleep?
because when I watched the Mortis arc on Clone Wars today, I think it was the brother. No, who is it? It was the father said something like, "Many people try to like are searching for us to like use us for their own thing," and he mentions the Sith were one of them. So Palpatine at the time was searching for the Mortis gods, but I'm thinking that the Night Sisters on Peridia were trying to use
Mm.
the Mortis gods for their own needs or something. And maybe the father, son, and daughter imprisoned the sisters in those catacombs. Like I don't know, like all that information was just like I thought was just great. Obviously, the zombie stuff was great. I really liked that Ezra was the one that got saved, and Sabine and Ahsoka got left behind. I thought that was just great writing. I don't care what anyone says. I think that was great. Um,
I hated that.
and like this is like the only like because like I said of the live action shows, like this is the best finale because it makes me excited for the future, like what's going to happen next. Whereas every other show, it kind of like has a bow tie at the end and like makes it like a happy
Dude,
ending.
the last season of Mando was like the
That's
most bow
true.
tie thing I've ever seen in my entire
That's
Right.
life.
And so it's like this makes me excited for the future. Like I really am excited to see what are they going to do next. Whereas, sure, I was excited for like the other shows, like what happened at the after what happened at the end, because it's like, oh, well, what's next? But this is like now there's actually like storylines that I know they're going to address, like specifically.
Yeah.
And it's just how are they now going to play these out? And like I couldn't
Well,
ask anything better for a finale, in my opinion.
well, and like what you were saying last week, like it would make now I could see how potentially we could still have an arc that can lead up to Thrawn without, because like I feel like a lot of what we were thinking last week is like they're gonna get there and then there's gonna be a battle like right away, but I think Thrawn's still gonna stall a little bit, and they don't really know that he's back,
Right.
so it's
The
not
one
like
that was the
he
one thing I didn't really like. I was really hoping that when Ezra got off the ship, he was going to come off more scared. Like he would say, "Thrawn is back." Like I thought he was going to say something like that, and then everyone else had some terror on their face. Like I thought that would have been great.
that's the two thing that bothered me about this show. Sabine doesn't want to tell Ezra anything, and now Ezra didn't tell Hera
Thrawn.
anything. It
Okay, he
bothered the
just
crap
got
out of
there.
me.
It was literally a 30-second clip.
Say, hey, hi Hera, Thrawn's back.
I
And
mean,
then,
he hasn't been there for
like,
12 years, dude. The first thing you would want to do is not be like, "Hey everyone, here's some bad news."
now when the whole galaxy's on the line. And he was on that ship for a good 2 days, if not longer. Because that's how long it took Ahsoka to get there. with the whales. So we know it takes to fly. He escaped, like, we don't know any of that, how long he's been over there.
Yeah, it was a convenient jump.
So it's just like, I don't know. Like, I understand you, like, you hug Hera, and then after that, like, how cool would the ending would have been was if he would have said Thrawn's back, and then that's how it ended. Oh, I think it would have been
That would have been cool,
cooler.
but like I don't think it. Like as much as I wanted Ezra to come off like that, I don't think them adding that would have really necessarily made it like that much better. Like, yeah, I wanted him to like show like a fear in him, like, and everyone
I'm just saying,
react with that same fear. But
Sabine wouldn't have stalled telling Ezra
Also,
everything.
why did
They
he?
would have actually been on that ship with Ezra.
Why did he come down the ramp with his helmet on?
because it looks cooler,
Because he wanted
it's
to
more dramatic.
yeah. He's like, how can I trick them? Like, I don't know. Like,
How can I almost get shot by 40 people? But anyways,
I don't know.
I will agree with Daddy Palps
Fence.
though. Ezra's casting was spot on.
Yeah, we talked about that over the weekend,
Yeah,
and
spot on.
me and Daddy Pals were talking about that. Like, it's like perfect.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get going in like when I saw who the casting was, I wasn't excited because I thought that the guy from Aladdin looked more
It's
like
literally what Daddy Pals said too.
Ezra
Yeah.
in my opinion. But this actor is able to capture
His
Ezra's
spirit.
personality and cadence and
Mhm.
stuff very well in my opinion. So
Yeah.
I'm happy with the casting too.
Me too.
Um,
We were also talking about. We also think that Hera's casting was like perfect too.
Oh yeah,
Hair's great. Yep.
Yeah.
Sabine, it's okay.
Chopper.
It worked.
Whoever they got to play Chopper.
Blue Chopper too.
I'm happy with Sabine. I've actually
I'm not happy,
I've
but
at first I was like, I guess it's weird getting used to her because it's the first time we see her in live action, so it's like I don't know how to interpret her.
Yeah.
But as the season has gone on, like I've liked Natasha playing Sabine more and more, and like I'm totally on board with her moving forward. But yeah,
can we talk about the elephant in the room?
there's an elephant in the room.
There's a big elephant called the Force. Can we talk about
Oh,
how much you guys pushed back on the first episode of Sabine being Force sensitive or whatever, and now it's like fully awakened in her, and you guys haven't said one thing about.
well,
how bad that
I'm
is?
waiting. I'm waiting until we get to that point in the episode.
I'm not as against it now as I was during the first episode. How about that?
But why?
I am.
Because the character development and the build up towards it paid off for me.
Okay.
Whereas
I'm not I like that
whereas
change in
if you know that cup scene or whatever sitting
She
at the
started
table
doing it.
happened like second episode or whatever it was, third
Mhm.
episode. If like she was able to do it then, I'm like that was too
See,
fast.
but it's like, okay, fine. I guess we're just gonna.
No, we're going. We have. That's,
So here's the thing. We've been teased with the entire season. Every time she goes to do something in the Forest, either nothing happens or something happens and it's the result of someone else.
Mhm.
And I literally have felt like they keep setting us up and then they're like, no, she's not Force sensitive. And then they set us up and then they're like, no. And I just really, her being Force sensitive to me, this is going to be a hot take, feels similar to Rey just calling herself a Skywalker.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No,
Ray's thing is 1,000 times worse.
But here, well, yeah, but it feels, it has a similar feeling. It's like all of a sudden this character that hasn't been remotely Force sensitive was like so not Force sensitive that Kanan made a comment to Hera, or they had a quick conversation about it in Rebels about how not Force sensitive she was. And then all of a sudden she can just pull a lightsaber to her. And then might I add, in the scene following that, her fighting ability skyrockets. She's like blocking lasers or like behind her back with her lightsaber without even looking and shooting people with the other hand. Like she's like full on one with the Force.
The Force Awakens.
Yeah. And so, like, I don't know. Like, does it really matter? I guess not. But like for me, it's one of those things where I'm like, why now? Like, why are we getting this now after 3 or 4 seasons of Rebels?
Well, she was clouded in Rebels,
Yeah, but like
and like I
not a
think
single
wait,
person who
so
was force sensitive around her could feel that.
no, they even said like what's his name said that she's not she would have never been picked as a Padawan.
Yeah.
Like he said that. So we know that that wasn't it. But then I think the training that Ahsoka learned from Anakin, like somehow, I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know. I don't
Dude,
know what I'm
and
trying
see
to say. It just feels like she was able to awaken something in her. But what bothered me was that she grabbed the lightsaber and then right after that she can throw someone across the like that
yeah,
part
well,
was
It's
her leap was
it's about having
huge.
confidence. Like that's the whole thing. Like
Yes, it
the
is.
whole
but then
But
we read in novels about how like hard it is for trained Jedi to use the Force, and like we get like even in the High Republic, they talk about using the Force and how much training it requires and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden she's just like,
she can yeet someone
right,
across.
but
I don't
it's
know.
a but it's a moment of desperation where because what does Ahsoka say earlier in the episode? Like just trust in the Force, and when she has the only option she has is to Force push Ezra up, she has to trust in the Force. Like in that moment, her faith was the highest it's ever been because one, she just force pulled her saber to herself, so now she knows that she can do it, and
Yeah.
now she's in a desperate moment where she has to have faith, or her and her friend are gonna die. Like
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense to me because like once she has that confidence with the whole season of Sabine and Ahsoka's relationship getting mended and slowly getting closer and closer, and Ahsoka is stepping into that master apprentice, like she's the
She's
master in this
there.
relationship.
She's a
She's
master
growing
now.
in that, and as Sabine is humbling herself and she's actually starting to trust Ahsoka, like all of that baggage on Sabine is getting torn away, and she's able to more freely use the Force and have
It's so
confidence in
funny
the
too
Force.
because like I don't feel like I just don't feel super invested in that relationship. Like it didn't feel like it changed enough for her to be able to just yeet
I think
someone.
I think the biggest thing is that Anakin trained her. Like Anakin changed Ahsoka's outlook on life and everything. And it made her I think that was what I was trying to get at. It made Ahsoka no longer a Padawan. She's a master now. And she's training a Padawan.
Yeah, but like
She went through the Jedi trials. That's what
yeah,
she
but
was
like
doing with
she didn't
Anakin.
get to really train Sabine between getting out of the world between worlds and then finding her.
No, but what Jeremiah is trying to like, I mean, I'm not. What I think Jeremiah is trying to say is because Ahsoka is also believing in Sabine now, and not just Sabine as a really good duelist.
Yeah.
She's actually believing in that she can actually do it more, but like she kind of did before in that flying thing, but she didn't really like it wasn't always there because at a certain point she gave up and said, "Okay, just tell me when to tell me what to do," because she didn't actually fully believe in Sabine herself. And now she's fully believed in Sabine, and I think that has broken down walls and barriers that Sabine has put up, which can potentially make the Force work. It just worked too fast for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I
But I'm glad that it worked on Jeremiah
I
because
think it's
Yeah.
consistent with what we know about learning how to use the Force. Like if you have all this baggage and all these attachments and all of these chaos, you're not
you're not able to.
if you're not balanced in yourself, you can't use the Force well. Kind of like how Kylo Ren like lost to Rey in The Force
Sure.
Awakens
Yeah, like
because in this next
I
movie,
don't
Snoke is like you were unbalanced. You got bested by a
yeah,
girl who's never like so like your state of mind has an effect on your
sure.
ability to use the Force.
Sure.
And so
I'm just like I agree with you 100% on that. I'm just like we don't need another Jedi in this. It's I don't know. It was
You
just
do.
I'm not saying that I wanted us Sabine to have this.
yeah,
I
like
still
when
think that it would have been better if she wasn't this, but I think that they've done enough in this season to actually make
build
it
that.
believable for me.
yeah, it's still not believable for me. But like, because like I was watching it and the lightsaber started to move and I literally went seriously, like out loud. I was like seriously.
Did you think it was Ezra actually like?
No, I
I
actually thought it
thought for
was
a
her.
sec.
I actually thought it was her this time,
At first,
and
I
I
thought
was
it was
like,
Ezra like throwing it to her, but
no, but it would have been better if that was the case. But I don't know.
I don't know. And like, if you think about like the dark saber, how well she wielded that saber compared to Din Djarin, I think there's got to be some force in that.
Well, Bo-Katan can do that same thing.
Who's to say she's not force sensitive?
Freaking Force
I'm
Oprah.
just
Everyone's a Jedi
saying.
now.
I'm just saying.
Force
who's to
Oprah.
say?
There's a meme. All right, people in the Discord, make that a meme. Force
You get the
Oprah.
force. You get the force.
You get a saber.
Ray's
You get a saber.
Ray's a Skywalker.
You're a Skywalker. You're a
Finn's a Jedi. Sabine's a Jedi. The entire
Okay,
Nodi
hold on.
clan is going to be force sensitive
Finn's
now.
thing made the most sense, and I still think the whole show would have been way better if they would have went Finn's route and they built off of his character.
Well, we're not
Huh?
talking about the sequel trilogy.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
But anyway, in conclusion, I thought this was. I guess the other disappointment was I thought we were going to get some hint in the slightest way to the Grisk, but we
Yeah,
haven't.
I have completely given up on that now.
Thank you.
You have given up on it.
Where's my button?
I don't think we're going to get it.
Why are you clapping for that?
Yeah, I mean, like
I've
it's
been saying that since the
heartbreaking.
first episode.
It's really heartbreaking.
It's not gonna happen.
But like, I would trust Dave to do it, but Dave isn't the only one calling the shots.
I think if we
And
would have got it,
I think that there are too many people trying to make decisions, and there are too many interests at play for us to get something that meaningful.
I think that this show is proof that Dave has more say than you think.
I just don't
This
think
this is like, all right, Dave, you write a show, you do whatever you want, and we're not gonna say no to anything. Like, I felt like that's what this show was, and so like, I think that Disney now understands more than ever that like let the creators do what they do best. Let's stop having executives meddle. Is that meddle? Is that the word?
I still,
Yeah.
well,
I
Meddle
think
in.
if that were the case, it
writing.
never should have been called Ahsoka.
facts
Oh, you're on that boat. I don't care about that boat.
should have just been Rebel season 5.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was having a conversation with someone, a Star Wars fan at work today, and literally we were talking about how there were so many just fantastically cool things in this episode, and very few of them had anything to do with Ahsoka.
Facts. Everything
Like there were a lot of really cool moments, but then there were so many of them that I was like, oh yes, Ahsoka's still here.
To do with Ahsoka.
Huh?
Everything that Jeremiah mentioned that you loved, none of that was Ahsoka.
So
No, but I think it literally should just be called Rebel season 5, and
Yeah.
'cause it's not Ahsoka.
I think you guys should just stop complaining about it. I think it's a non-issue for me. Like
Sure.
Like it's like what about Andor? Like half that show was about other characters.
No,
Yeah,
but no,
like-
but the finale didn't even like Ahsoka. She just dueled in this and killed what's her name. That was all.
Yeah,
she
and it was
did.
the one of the best
I'm not saying it
duels
wasn't
in
the
all of
best
Star
duel
Wars.
ever.
Was huh?
I'm just saying. I'm not saying that it isn't. I'm just saying it wasn't Ahsoka's show. It was Sabine and Ezra's show at the end.
But
It was actually a
Ahsoka's.
Sabine show. Let's be real. The whole time it was a Sabine show. The whole premise, besides the Anakin and Ahsoka part, the whole thing was Sabine.
I don't agree.
All we hear is
Yeah, you're super loud keyboard. I don't know. I think it's it's whatever. It's like
still good though.
I just
but-
don't care why people get caught up on the name of the show. Like they could have called it like
For
Purple
me,
Elephant,
it
and
was
I don't really
because
care.
like I expected more of her. But because like we had a ton of her at the beginning when she was like kind of by herself, but she was so stoic and kind of closed off that it didn't really feel like we were getting
Character opened.
like the full Ahsoka experience. And then Sabine shows up, and then it really became the Sabine show for a little bit. And then like by the time like we got episode the Anakin episode, which was completely Ahsoka, and it was one of the best Star Wars experiences since Disney took over. And that's because it's focused solely on one character and that character's journey. And so I don't know.
But I think that if you look at other TV shows and
Sure.
movies with those same lens that you just used,
Yeah.
you're gonna you don't say the same thing.
Yeah, but I think
You're
the difference,
going into it with wanting a higher concentration of Ahsoka. But
Yeah.
like if you were to do that with other shows, it would be a similar thing where you get less of the main character than you
I
realize.
feel like I got more of Andor when he was on screen
Oh yeah.
than we got of Ahsoka when she was on screen.
Okay, that's just one thing, but I'm saying in general.
I don't know. I like you're right. Like, but for me,
But they were just.
I'm expecting Ahsoka going into this. Like the show's called Ahsoka. Like all the promotional materials, it's all Ahsoka. Like there's no other characters. Like dude, in LA, buses, park benches, billboards. It's just Ahsoka and her lightsabers. She's doing cool stuff with her lightsabers. Leading up to this, like that's all we got. And I'm like, sick. We're going to take a deep dive into this character. We're going to see, you know, her internal struggles, and she's going to be the center of the show. And to me, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing to have so many focuses, because like shows like Rebels and obviously this show, like you can do that and it works really, really well. But for me, I think the disconnect was going into this. I was like, this is going to be Ahsoka's show, solely like Ahsoka trying to find Thrawn, and you're setting up this like singular character, you know, not the whole time, but like at least around the show is going to be centered around this character. And then we've got the bad guy. But for me, what, you know, and maybe I'm just weird and stupid to a certain extent, but it just felt like things were going in so many different directions that like I don't know why they would have called it Ahsoka, because there was so much more focus in other areas, if that makes sense.
So I think that so like in other shows that's, you know, focused on a single person, like in their title or whatever, it's that person is 50% of the screen time, and then you have like 10 different characters that are split up 5%, 5%, 5%. And so it makes it look like your main character is 10 times more than anyone else. But in this show, we still get that 50% time from Ahsoka, but rather than having 10 characters, you only have 3 or 4. And so that it looks like it's less concentrated with Ahsoka, but in actuality, it's all the same as compared to everything else. They just put focus on fewer characters, so therefore Ahsoka looks like she's more diluted. But in reality, she still has the most screen time than anyone else, probably.
Well, I'm not talking about
I don't know.
at the end of the day, I'm not talking about screen time. I'm talking about like,
well, screen time, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, like
plot
connection.
Points, like it's all the same to me. Like it's.
I think they named it Ahsoka because if they wanted to base it around what the show was about, Sabine, they wouldn't have got as many people watching.
I'm not into conspiracy theories, so like.
I'm just saying, they could have called it Sabine. It would have made more sense, but then no one would have watched it. I mean, not no one, but not as many people would have watched it.
All I know is nobody's going to want me on the podcast anymore after this.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with you, Andrew. I'm not disagreeing.
Well,
with
no,
middle. It doesn't bother me that much, but I kind of wish I would have got more of her out of this episode than what we got. Because I don't think we got that much Ahsoka in this episode.
What? She was like there for like the whole thing from start to finish.
She was fighting.
I don't know what else you want.
Her dialogue was so little compared to Sabine and Ezra's.
I don't get that argument at all. Ahsoka was there in like every single conversation except for like the lightsaber scene, like when Ezra. Other than that, Ahsoka was there for everything.
I think for me it feels like she is there as a guide for other characters.
Like a master.
Yeah. Instead of the
Or
main character,
Padawan show.
she's like there in pivotal moments to like help guide other people.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
But that doesn't mean that she's not the main person.
It just didn't feel like it was around her. It felt like it was more around Sabine.
I don't understand that argument. Like, I just don't. I've seen at the first like 3 episodes, it was all Ahsoka and Sabine. There was a lot more Sabine than we thought. So, but that was just screen time with 2 characters basically. So it made it look like there wasn't a lot of Ahsoka. But as the series has gone on, except for the one episode 6, when Ahsoka was just in there for the first like 5 minutes, and then that was it. Other than that episode, like I felt like was the main focus, like involved in every individual like aspect. Like episodes 4 and 5, she was the main character, and
just not 6.
Just not 6 because she was. That was the one Sabine episode where it was only Sabine looking for Ezra, and then just the preparations that Thrawn was doing. But I don't know. I think going back to the original trailer that we watched, like that trailer was Sabine and Ahsoka. Like, what else did you?
I mean, you're not wrong.
Like if that's what we got in the trailer, that's what we got in the show was Sabine and Ahsoka. So like,
I mean, we kind of did know that they were going together to get those 2. We were going to go get Thrawn in.
And we knew that since Rebels season 4 that those 2 were going to be the duo going to find Ezra, and we get it, and then people can complain that we have Sabine. Like, what? Like, I don't get it.
I think people are just didn't realize we're used to Sabine as more a side character, because she had arcs when she was a main character, but most of our experience with Sabine in the past has been more of a side character.
She was a side character in like the first 2 seasons of Rebels, and then the last 2 seasons she was more of a focal point. Her and Zeb kind of switched spots in the season. The first 2 seasons were Zeb, and then the last 2 seasons were
still mad
Sabine.
Zeb wasn't on that ship with Hera when.
Yeah, I was like, they put all that money in creating that CGI Zeb, and we haven't gotten him.
Zeb at all, which doesn't make any sense to me.
He's training recruits.
Yeah,
man.
He's too busy training. He hasn't got time to sit on some New Republic cruiser.
So do we think we're gonna get like an Ezra show next?
No.
Dude, I have no clue, man.
What are we doing?
I mean, I don't think we're gonna get an Ezra show, but I really don't know what they're. I have no clue.
Show?
Everything's delayed 6 months because of writer's strike.
Which is about to be over, which is amazing.
Done.
It is over.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's over, but they haven't They haven't like officially signed the deal yet.
I thought they did. They did.
I thought because like Jimmy Fallon, didn't they start?
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon was back on last night.
Maybe they did.
The
last time I watched the news, they were, huh?
They're not going to start working again though until after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's it.
But they are back because all the Tonight shows and stuff started like the other day. I think last night actually.
Sick.
But well, should we break this down?
Well, might as well just go for a coffee break right now.
Yeah.
So
that's fair. We need some coffee to.
If you need some coffee,
maybe we should all drink some good green tea. Mellow out a little bit. Chill.
But if you are into coffee and or tea, let's hear a commercial break from our good friends at Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code EMPIRE-RADIO, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do
it.
All right. Cool. So scene by scene. See, Drew, it took us 51 minutes to get through our
6
initial
hours.
thoughts. Our
We
initial
already
thoughts.
debated. We already fought. It's good. We're good. We just have to. You just have to
Um,
read us the story now, Jeremiah. That's it.
So one starts out the loading of the cargo has been almost complete,
Beautiful shot of the Star Destroyer.
and our boy Thrawn is like, "All right, bring down the Eye of Sion, and let's hook up and get out of here." And I was like, "This is cool. We've been waiting for this. Like, how does it actually work?" And so they started getting that to go, and then there was a cool little conversation between him and Morgan about the dangers of a Jedi and what they can accomplish. And it's just like how many Imperial officers have been bested by a single Jedi. I even lost to a single Jedi once. Never again. And so it's kind of cool seeing Thrawn admit to a failure. Because, like, at the end of the day, like, his failure on Atollon in season 3 finale was because that one officer was like, "Screw Thrawn, I'm going to do my thing," and screwed up Thrawn's plan, and that's screwed up. And so, like, you even see more of that in, which book was that? Alliances?
I think so.
Can't remember.
What are you referring to specifically?
The talking of the failure at Atollon. That was Alliances, because Vader was like,
Vader, dude. Every chance freaking Vader got to rub that in his face.
yeah. So,
Gosh.
so, but like even that was
a
like
jerk.
Like, you can't blame Thrawn fully for that, but I think he might have been specifically referring to this Ezra in the season 4 finale, where that Jedi is the one that bested me.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
So, like, I thought that was great. He's like, "I'm never gonna let a Jedi." It's almost like the Jedi are his greatest challenge because they're so unpredictable. What, you don't like that?
No,
So then, who should be his greatest challenge then? The Grisk?
Well, I mean, quite frankly, yeah. But I mean, the Jedi, if anybody is going to give him a run for his money, it's going to be a Jedi. I just don't think it should happen so easily.
Well, you can't say it was easily when a bunch of whales came out of nowhere and stole them.
Yeah,
that's not something you can.
Really that easy.
I'm more so talking about this episode, but we'll get to that.
He didn't lose.
He won.
No, but we'll get to it.
Oh gosh, this is gonna be a long episode. So I just really like that he's like, "I'm not gonna let," especially that he knows that Ahsoka was Anakin's. Like, I am definitely not gonna lose to this girl because screw Anakin. Basically, he does not like Anakin. So I thought that was just great, and then we finally get some crazy Night Sister stuff with the Night Mothers being like, "Hey, Morgan, you get a promotion today," and they like.
Dude, that was the scariest thing of all time.
Do some
bro.
weird. I have to like go back and watch stuff in Clone Wars about like them doing stuff. But, like her like putting her hands on her head and like weird sounds, screaming and like smoking and like her face changes. Like I thought that was
so scary.
I thought that was great. Just seeing her.
Well, now we know that they look like that when they get a promotion. Like they
Right.
don't always look like that.
Yeah, because we were like, she doesn't have like the white skin
Yeah.
like that we were used to, and so this is
She's not demonic enough.
like you gotta get like a certain level of
That's like the third or fourth
achievement points.
promotion.
Yeah, you gotta get to a assistant to the regional manager type of thing.
I think they gave her that promotion because they knew what was going to happen after the promotion.
And so, but she was given the gift of shadows, which I don't know. Like, is that just to get the shadows like on their eye and like that power? I'm guessing that's what that means. The gift of shadows.
That, and it seems like the gift allows her to be more in tune with the spirits that they commune with, and also the dark side of the Force.
Right. Because it was cool that they changed her voice with like that echoey.
Yeah, they put that reverb plug-in on her real fast.
And I thought it was really cool that they like manifested Mother Talzin's sword. Like, was it the same sword type of thing that she used in Clone Wars? I don't know. Like, I didn't check, but like,
She had a sword.
right? I
just don't remember if it was the same one.
But they said sword of Talzin, so I don't know. Was Mother Talzin? Was that just like Talzin, like a title, or was that her name?
No,
So, like,
I think that was. Hold on, let me see if I can find.
So it's like I wonder if like
the Googs.
I just wonder if like the blade of Talzin is just kind of like the name of something that's separate.
I thought that was
from
a
Mother
personal
Talzin.
time. No.
No, I just assumed that, but I just don't. Just someone brought that up that maybe it's
Okay,
different.
so she summons it in one episode. It looks a little different. Not gonna lie, looks a little different, but
Like a little
'cause
different.
she fights-
as in
she-
it is different, or as in
she
it's
fights Mace Windu with it.
or is it just like a stylization difference from animation to live action?
It's hard because it's like you're going from animation to live action. The green flames and the energy and stuff is the same. It's a little bit less pronounced in this show than
Right.
it was in Clone Wars, but the hilt looks different.
Interesting.
Yeah, the hilt in the Clone Wars, it almost looks like there's a dragon and the blade is coming out of the dragon's mouth.
Okay.
And then there's a smaller one-handed handle. It's kind of curved a little bit, and then there's like this it almost looks like the dragon's tail is like curled up for the pommel at the bottom. But when you go from animation to live action, they change stuff like that all the time. So honestly, it could be the same sword.
I think
Right.
it was.
Cool.
They just summoned it from
But
depths of hell or something.
either way, I thought it was great that they just do that name drop. That was just a reference.
Yeah, for sure.
And so this whole time, Thrawn is just standing in the back, just watching. I'm like, what is he thinking right now? Like, what is this
It's
backpack
another
crazy?
Tuesday for Thrawn.
He's like, I don't know. I just wish I could have gotten his thoughts.
You wanted the book.
I wanted the
adaptation
book
him
of where
thinking
he's just
inside.
narrating. But I thought it was cool. After it was done, he's just watching, and then the two TIE fighters drop and go to search for.
Oh, that was sick.
That was just cool. That was just cool. I loved it. It was great. Whatever.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
And so then we're back. We go back to the Nodi traveling with Ahsoka's ship, and dude, they're going so slow, and that ship was just creeping along with them. Like,
I literally looked at Micaiah and was like, they are burning so much gas right now. Like, their gas mileage for this trip is going to suck.
like they should be getting like 10 million miles to a gallon, but not today, I guess. But immediately we go inside the ship, and Ezra is making a saber with I want to say with Hu Yang's help, but not really.
No.
Hu Yang was like, "You're not doing it right. Like, I know what I'm doing." And he's like, "Who taught you?" "Oh, my master Kanan Jarrus taught me everything I know." I was like, "Oh, I taught Kanan
Yeah.
how to."
I liked that there was a moment where we realized that Hu Yang and Ezra had never met, you know?
Right.
Because, like, I think it would be easy for the storytellers to just, like, make them more friendly with one another because of how much time we spent with each character. Like, we expect that, even though it's not possible, But I was like, oh, yeah. They're bickering right now because Ezra has no idea who Hu Yang is. So,
Right.
and then this is the first
And
whistle and point at the screen
Sabine
moment.
didn't really understand that.
Huh?
Sabine didn't really understand that.
She did say that like she was also surprised that Kanan learned from Hu Yang.
Yeah.
But it's like maybe she just didn't connect 2 and 2 together. Or like, I don't know.
Maybe she didn't think that Kanan made a lightsaber. Potentially,
like as like a Padawan, because like.
Well, I mean, she probably just wasn't told that all the Padawans did that.
Right. And so. Right. So someone made a comment I was watching on YouTube that because Ezra makes the comment that the emitter is too small, and they're like, is that kind of like a jab at like the super thin saber blades in Rebels? Just kind of like those are way too thin, so I gotta make a.
Oh
bigger...
yeah, maybe.
I don't know if that's a thing, but that was just an interesting. Because I was looking when he ignited his blade. I was like, is that a little bit thinner than the rest of the sabers in this series? I thought it was like a little bit thinner, but I don't know. Maybe I was just playing mind tricks on me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, I thought it was great that Hu Yang had Kanan's emitter part.
It came out.
so cool.
Ezra pulled it out, and I went, "Oh, Kanan!" out loud. I was like, "Oh!" I was like, and then my immediate question was, "How does Hu Yang have this part?"
And they answered it for once.
Yeah, and then right after he's like, there were 2 of those, and I was like, "Ah, thank you. This is amazing."
I was like, okay,
See,
he's gonna make one that looks the exact same, but then they actually explained it right away.
I really love
to
that.
question it.
But,
I was like, this is what we need in Star Wars. We need.
But I don't know if you noticed it, Andrew, but what Ezra first grabbed was the wrong part, and then Hu Yang grabbed the right part. Did you notice that? Because what Ezra, it looks similar. I was like, oh, is that like things? But then Hu Yang went and grabbed. This is the extra part that I had.
Oh, nice.
So, like,
yeah, I thought that was great.
Do you think that it's detachable, or do you think he just made it solid? Because like Kanan, he puts his together and then
it didn't look detachable.
I don't know if it could do that and he just kept it together because it's like he's not trying to.
It didn't look detachable when he was building it,
right?
But
who knows? It was cool
at this point.
That was great.
Yang does.
It was
You're not wrong.
A good blue saber. We haven't gotten one of those all. Well, I guess we got Anakin's saber. Never mind. I was like, we haven't gotten blue all thing, but we did.
Don't you mean Rey's saber?
Not yet. She's
not born yet.
I don't think she's born yet. Let's see, this would be 7 years.
Oh yeah, Jeremiah's the year 20, guy. He
23.
knows.
No, she's not born yet. I don't think. I think she was 18 or 19 in The Force Awakens. So, yes, and so Ezra and Hu Yang are kind of talking about how the challenge and the meaningfulness of the master apprentice relationship, and Sabine's listening to it and is also learning from that. Like my relationship,
she pulls a Batman.
She disappears, but we finally learn more information on what happened between Sabine and Ahsoka. We don't get the full details. We only got this part plus what we got back in like episode 4, but
right.
So the Jedi Purge or the Mandalorian Purge / the Night of 1,000 Tears, whatever you want to call it. He says what?
Pause here. Do you think Hu Yang just has crystals
Oh yeah, I was wondering it too, like where he got
Yeah.
the.
That was,
Extra
I guess he
crystals.
like,
does. Which is
Now, do you think they're blanks, or do you think that they're already paired?
what
Yes.
do you mean?
So, like we talked about this before, how lightsabers they're
think
blank.
they're
The
blank.
kyber crystals are blank,
I think they're blanks. I think
and then
the
when they
twin planets
bond,
are turned on
with
and
a
bonded to it.
when they bond with a Jedi, the color changes.
So you're saying we missed a bonding off screen?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Hu Yang could just have extra. I don't know. That was my question. Is like,
I
where
was
did he
wondering
get
where
it?
he got to, but I guess he would had to have had
Yeah, I mean, he just
extra.
well, because that was the thing when Ezra was building the saber. I was like, my immediate question in my mind was like, okay, well, what are we going to do about a kyber crystal? And he's like, and it's like, oh, sick. He's got a crystal.
So something that came up last week, and we were like Jeremiah was trying to figure out how did Ahsoka have all those things?
Oh wait, she
What
did have a
things?
ton of extra lightsabers.
She did.
There's a lot of crystals in those.
What?
Ahsoka had a lot of lightsabers on her
Yeah,
ship.
she has a ton of extra lightsabers in that little closet.
When she
Did
put
we
that
see that?
holocron in that box, there were sabers all around there.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't.
yeah. Because remember, everyone on the internet was like, "I think I see this person's. I think I see this person's saber." And blah blah blah. Yeah,
never
but it
even
wasn't.
saw
It
that.
wasn't actually like really a thing. But they're there.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Because we were trying to figure out like how did Ahsoka get all those 20 odd.
We didn't talk about that.
Yes, we did.
I'm just telling you right now. I've never knew she had
Not the
lightsabers on.
sabers. I'm not talking about the sabers. I'm talking about how you didn't understand how she had those the hollow messages from.
Oh, the Anakin's message, like how she got.
I want
Reflected
Ezra's
those.
lightsaber.
Like, how did we get those? And I don't know. My bigger question is, how does Hu Yang have all that supplies?
Well, it's his ship, though.
It's
It's his ship. Like,
he's
it's
had
the same-
time.
He's
had
had
time
the
to
ship
compile
for
it, yeah.
hundreds of years.
So he was able to escape Order 66 with that ship.
Yeah, because he's not a Jedi, so they're not gonna kill him.
Yeah.
And he was just, as far as I know, he was just floating through space, and then Padawans go to him to like.
Oh, that's true, huh?
I don't think so. I thought that they travel with him.
Well, they gotta go to his ship though. They travel to his ship, and then they go like to Ilum, and then they build in the ship. I thought. So I thought like when Ahsoka brought all those Padawans, like it was like a field trip. Like, hey, we're going to see Hu Yang
remember.
and going to Ilum, and make sure you get your master's like signature permission slip signed, like get it signed, like
You
Make
go
sure
down
you
to
bring your
Hogsmeade.
peanut butter and jelly, and
peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and everything.
Yeah, I'm full of Harry Potter references tonight, yo.
there you are. Yeah.
But anyway, back to the Purge. So because like there's been like, when did this happen? Did it happen during the events of the original trilogy? I always thought it was after, and they said it at the end of the war, which
Yep.
could have been before Endor, but
Yeah, it's probably
a
little bit after.
I'm thinking it's after.
Yeah.
Just because at that point they're kind of in panic mode, right? All right, we got to kill as many people as we can, like with Operation Cinder,
Yeah.
Cinder, and all that stuff. They just kind of did all a bunch of crazy stuff, and so that's why I'm still thinking it took place after the events of Endor, and we learned that Sabine's family all died. So I'm assuming mother, father, and brother. So that's the family that we know of. I think just one brother.
Yeah.
And her parents. So Ursa and Tristan is her brother's name. Tristan?
Ursa Ring?
Ursa Ren is the mom, but Tristan.
Ursa Ring. That's a Pokemon reference.
I don't know.
Sure, he just rolls his eyes.
And then I forget her dad's name, but I don't know if she had any other siblings. I can't remember.
Papa Rin.
Papa Ren. Yep. And so they're all dead. And the reason Ahsoka left Sabine was because she was afraid that basically Sabine would turn to the dark side because of her anger, which I think is consistent with Ahsoka's story that we learned from season 2 of Mandalorian, how she didn't want to train
Yeah.
Grogu. Like, I think it's just a great, consistent,
Yeah. I mean, that makes total sense to me.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, but I'm also thinking like, okay, it's the first time she used the Force was in this episode, so like, how worried are you going to be? But I guess when you're angry, it can feed the power, connection to the power of the dark side. But I think that's cool. That's what the conflict was over. But we still get the previous information from episode 4, where um, Ahsoka didn't trust Sabine, and that led to the death of her family, or something like that, or whatever happened on Mandalore. Like, Sabine could have stopped what happened on Mandalore or something. So
Yeah.
we don't get the complete story, but we got more information, and I'm happy with what we got so far. Maybe we'll get more information. Who knows?
I'm sure we will.
And so after this conversation between Ezra and Hu Yang, it goes to Sabine going outside the ship, and Ahsoka sitting there, and they kind of have their conversation about Sabine's gamble, and so of willingly going with Balin and giving over the map. And so, like, at this point, Ahsoka was like, basically, I've had to make a lot of hard decisions. You had to make a bunch of hard decisions. You didn't do anything wrong, Sabine. Like, how do you guys feel about Ahsoka's response to Sabine's choice?
It was nice.
It was good.
So you're not like Sabine was in the wrong.
I mean, I still think that she didn't make a great decision. Like when this,
I don't know.
but then like, what's the alternative? Like we've already seen that her shooting the map probably wouldn't have done anything anyways. So
Well,
like, my question is, do you throw it? Well, if she throws it, Balin's just, he just catches it. So I mean, like the idea of what she did, I still think is wrong. With the fate of the galaxy and the balance, you have to choose to do something else.
Well,
But I also see it from a really human perspective too. So like
because at the end of the episode, she's like, "You did well. Like, we did something good. We saved Ezra." Like,
yeah. But I do think that
so that's wrong.
Ahsoka's reaction to Sabine makes total sense. I still don't like Sabine's decision, but I think the forgiveness and the acceptance of what Sabine did, 150% is aligned with Ahsoka's character, especially post her.
I was gonna say now it definitely does.
Yeah, like I thought it was a really sweet moment. I think it's totally in character with Ahsoka, especially now. She's mature. That whole force field trip, whatever you want to call it, like really did a lot for her. And you can see that now. And I think that's
field trip. I'm like, what are you talking?
Yeah, sorry, the World Between Worlds trip. Yeah, but yeah, I thought it was a sweet moment. Like,
yeah, it didn't. I think this thing that bothers me the most is her and Ezra reaction.
When they met.
Yeah, that was.
You're still on that. We're going back to that. We're not even talking about that.
My thing is like she did all that and then she didn't reap any benefits from it. I don't know.
Oh, you're talking about him getting back.
No, I'm talking about like that was like a big moment and a big decision that she made.
Yeah.
And when she actually got to Ezra, it didn't seem like it was worth it for her. Like, cause she like, what up? I haven't seen you since last weekend. What's good in the grocery store? Like, I don't know. Like, it was like whatever.
Okay, well, we're not talking about.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, that's the only thing that bothered me about that thing. But no, I think the way Ahsoka handled it and talked about it and brought it back up, I think it was fine. And I agree. I think Ahsoka's development, we saw her growth so much in this show.
Yeah. Well, really, after episode 5.
That's what I mean.
But yeah.
And her outfit changed.
Yeah, Ahsoka the White.
That helped.
Yeah, I thought it kind of came out. The conversation came out of nowhere for me because like I
Oh,
thought,
wait. Oh, how the turntables.
what?
So now this is the it can't, did it surprise you or anything?
No, like it was just came out of nowhere. It's like if Ahsoka was sitting on top of the ship roasting a porg over open fire. Like it just surprised me. Like it wasn't like something I was expecting.
Oh, okay.
Like
Did you like the moment?
I thought it made sense, but I think it was weird that we didn't see at any point like a conflict between them because of Sabine's decision. At any point, like it would be interesting, like if at some point, like they had an issue, whether it was just kind of like
So you think the forgiveness was it just came too easily?
it came too quick, but it makes sense because
Yeah.
after episode 5, like Ahsoka is reborn basically. But like,
Yeah.
Well, I
it would have
think
been nice
it
to
wasn't-
see
Yeah.
Ahsoka have to get to the point of forgiving rather than just forgiving.
Yeah.
I for me, I don't think there was anything for Ahsoka to ever forgive. I think she knew as soon as
The
she got
death
up.
of trillions of people, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I'm saying more the sense like she knew as soon as she said like, "Are you willing to make that decision?" I think she knew that she wasn't going to make that decision. So I think it was more a sense like she was asking Sabine, "Are you okay with the decision that you made?"
I don't think I disagree because why would Ahsoka let her do that? Like, why would you say,
She
all right,
didn't
I know
let
you're gonna
her,
make a
but
bad
she
decision,
knew-
so I'm gonna take you with me so you can make a bad decision. Like, no,
Well,
just leave her
I
back
don't
at the
think
ship.
I think in the back of her mind she knew that wasn't going to happen.
No, because I think that whole conversation was based on them. Their episode 3, they were like mending their relationship for the first time, and then that is when Ahsoka asked that question, "Can I trust you?" Is because Ahsoka's like, "I broke our relationship. I failed you. We don't trust each other." Ahsoka's like, "I'm choosing to at least make a step forward and be like, can I trust you? Like, can I trust you again?" And so I don't think it was like a.
But do you think that I don't know? No.
What are you gonna do, Andrew? You put like 2 fingers up.
I don't know.
oh no, I was
thanking the
I was
guy that
responding
said
to,
nice
yeah,
haircut.
I was responding to the chat. You guys are have
Okay,
your conversation.
I
I
thought
don't
you
know.
were.
I feel like a part of me feels like Ahsoka kind of knew that would be
Has-
potential.
Has this been the most controversial show?
No,
Yes. Drew and I have had more disagreements on this show than any other
Dude,
show.
I
Well, that's true.
think
That's
I
fair.
think that even since I've been back, now granted, I missed there was a lot that I did miss.
Oh, there's
but
been times I
the-
wanted to like phone a friend. But
Like
I didn't
there,
have that set up to your account yet. But there's been times I'm like, dude, I need Andrew right now.
well, it's funny
No.
because like I feel like this show has had the fan base the most divided, and it's divided us the most too. Because like I feel like Book of Boba, we would have all been in agreement about most of this, like 99% of the stuff. Same thing with Mando.
I don't know.
I like Boba more than Drew, but I understand that it's my least favorite
Yeah.
live
I
action
feel
show.
like I liked it more than you.
You always complain. Why does he have his helmet off? Why does he have his
complain about
helmet
the
off? This
helmet.
is stupid. Like,
Okay,
look,
okay.
he's
This is
so
like an old
weak.
married
Da, da,
couple.
da. Like
That's true. That's
every
true.
episode.
Yeah, that's true. But the
But I feel like this is the one, even on the internet, that people have debated the most over.
Probably.
So, anyways, I just thought
I just think
I was
that
listening to you guys go back and forth, and I was like, this is something that we haven't had
definitely
before.
the most. I mean, Jeremiah.
I just think that like going into like this, the start of the show had so much backstory that we didn't get. That started people like being divisive and not understand. Like, but like I'm really trying to like pay close attention to each individual person's story arcs and trying to figure, does it make sense? And like because like I don't see the problems. I don't. How do I say? I don't hate on the story arc choices that have been made. I just accept it. I just learned to do that with Star Wars. Like, we get
Yeah.
what we get. Me complaining about stuff isn't gonna
I was gonna
have
say,
them
I feel
retcon
like
anything. Like, I just accept it and I try to understand what the writers are doing because they're very intentional. Like, people think like people just write random stuff and don't put thought into it. No, they got
Mhm.
storyboard. They got all kinds of writers. Like, people that are
Yeah.
writers that are not even in the credits. Like it's a whole team of people, and I just understand that everything that is done, every line, every camera angle is intentional, and I just try to understand what is this that the creators are trying to put on the screen. And there's so much stuff that we're 2 years from now, people are going to be analyzing this stuff and all the videos and all the stuff that we've missed. Like, it's going to make more sense 2 years from now than it does now. Like,
Hopefully.
like Ahsoka's changed, Jeremiah has changed his view of the show throughout.
Jeremiah the White.
how?
Dude,
Jeremiah
you
the
need to go
Green.
back and listen to the first 3
No,
episodes of this
Because
show.
that's what
You
we
did
didn't
not
know what
like
was
it.
going on. We
I
didn't know
know,
what was
but I'm
going
just
on.
saying.
Doesn't mean my opinion changes. I'm saying I didn't know how to understand it, but I still went into it the same way I went into it going in this episode, where I'm trying to understand everything.
Well, yeah, but
The first
I'm
3
just
episodes,
saying,
we had
like,
no idea what was going on, so I don't know what opinion to have until I
the
really
amount
analyze it
that
and think
you and
about it.
Andrew hated Sabine potentially being force sensitive in episode 2 was a lot.
I mean, I still don't like it.
Yeah,
Well, I know
don't like-
you don't. You stand by it, but Jeremiah has changed.
No,
drastically.
I said earlier, I wish they didn't do that, but the way they've made her story,
He did say that. He
Like,
did. He did
it-
say that.
what was the phrase I used?
You've learned to accept it.
I've bought into it. Is that something like I said or something?
No.
Something earlier in the episode, I said something along that, like I didn't want it, but like I've
Yeah.
been convinced
Embraced
of
it.
it, embraced it, or something. Like, I've just
Yeah.
accepted
Something
what
like
it
that.
is. So
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this is the only episode for me that I didn't like as much as previously episodes. This is the only hot take episode for me, I feel like.
I think this is, if I had to rate, it's about like second or third. Episode 5 is the best, of course, but it's like this and episode 4. Like, for me,
What was episode 4 again?
the first, the
I
one
don't
we
know.
just argued about, how do you trust? Can I trust you? And then
Oh,
they
yeah.
fight Balin and Shin, and then so
I would say that's my third favorite. No,
I think I like this one better than that one,
It-
actually,
the-
now that I think about it.
the lightsaber duel in that one was really good.
It was.
It was.
Hmm.
The Anakin
we
one
get- we'll
is
get
just
to that
so much
later.
higher that I just can't think about the other one.
Right. So yes. So Ahsoka just basically keep up with. Oh, I like how, have you kept up with your training? I try, and it's like, oh crap, I'm gonna get yelled at. But what
No, I
Yoda's
do.
line?
Do or
I
do
do, I
not.
do, I do, I do.
Yeah, that was cool. I thought that was funny.
And so then Ahsoka is like, just trust in the Force. Basically, it's like the main thing as a Jedi. Just trust in the Force. And then was this when she had the line about Jedis are more than just a lightsaber?
Yeah.
And Sabine's like, well, they do help in this situation. But then Ezra runs out, like, hey guys, oh crap, 2 TIE fighters. Like, they start coming and they just shoot the crap out of the ship. And then I thought it was great with Ezra and Ahsoka jumping down,
Yeah.
going underneath and force pushing it. Like, I've wanted to see the Jedi do something like this for a long time,
Mhm.
and it was just great. I liked it.
Yep.
And then Sabine just punched it with some
She
extra
did.
power, crashed into the TIE fighter, which the one guy was like, oh crap, like he covered his face when he could
Yeah.
have just like went up and he would have been fine.
Mm,
They are cannon fodder.
it's still a TIE fighter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But so she crashed into him and then the ship crashes, and Sabine is basically, when she gets out, like, nailed it. Sorry.
I love so 2 things that I love about this. One, none of the Noti die, which is great.
Right.
I was really hoping that they weren't going to do that, because that would have made things much worse for me personally. But I love that in the moment where she's walking, so you have this wide shot and you see Hu Yang first, way off in the distance, and he's just like looking at the ship. And then you see her come out, and I love how it gives you the feeling that she's like, we're not going to acknowledge what just happened. You know what I'm saying? Like she's walking with so much purpose that she's like, all right, so what are we doing next? And everyone's like, the ship. Like, dude, and she even, it's funny because she even walks past, I'm pretty sure she walks past them
Yeah, but
and
Ahsoka
immediately starts looking at the noti like, all right, like,
But Ahsoka has a little smirk on her face, like
yeah,
she knows what's going. But Sabine's like, "I got him.
yeah.
Sorry, I nailed it." And then they,
Oh yeah. As she's walking by, because I've got it up, she walks by past them without really acknowledging the ship. Looks at the village, and as she's walking by, she's like, "Got him!" And then it's just like, "All right, let's go. Let's move on here."
but then like Ezra, I think Ezra said something like, "Well, it was the only option we had. Like,
Yeah,
there was nothing else you could." So I think it's interesting that it's like in this show, Sabine only has one choice in a sense. Like that's a theme going through the show, or like
destruction.
Like she has the only choice she had. Hu Yang only choice she had was to give up the map. There was this. There was the whole stuff with Ezra and Force pushing him up. Like it was the only choice she had, which was an interesting theme to go back and look at. See if there's other instances where she only had a singular choice. But yeah, they jump on some haulers and.
Does
go-
anybody like wonder how ships in this galaxy can just take a beating, and then all it takes is some people with some soldering irons, and then all of a sudden they can fly again? I'm not saying that I don't have a problem with it. I just think it's funny. Like every time a ship goes down, someone's like, "All right," and then they pop open the little cupboard,
Yeah.
like wire pantry thing, and then they're working, and then it goes away, and then the next time you see the ship, it's like, and they're just flying it again.
I think it's just kind of like it's always about diverting power in a different direction.
Yeah.
Like, all right, this explosion caused this a break, so now we have to.
Now we're going to divert the power.
We have to bypass it
all the
around.
batteries to just jump to one motor. Essentially, that's all this is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
anyways,
but also this is I was like, even in this galaxy, all they gotta do is destroy the control panel on a door, and it closes. Like when they're going up with the zombies chasing them, they just had to cut the control and then it closed the door. Even in this galaxy, it does that.
Yeah.
Unlimited power. Okay, Will.
That's the universal. You need to lock a door. You just break the button.
Right.
Which is funny because logically that doesn't make sense. You would think in the case of an electrical failure, the doors would have a failsafe to stay open, so people don't get trapped.
Elevators don't.
Yeah, all doors stay locked when you. Like,
yeah, but like in Star Wars, no, but like in Star Wars, where all of the doors are motorized, the last thing you would want in an emergency, unless it's like a fire door, you know what I'm saying? Like the last thing you want is a bunch of people, thousands of people, to be stuck by a door that can't open.
That's why you have an R2 droid with you all the time.
Facts. Or if you're Echo,
or Echo, hey, you finally did something this season.
Or whatever the freaking stormtroopers always seem to have to blow open doors.
Yeah, how do those zombies blow open those?
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
And it's funny if you go back and watch some of those scenes, it's like they're really playing into the zombie thing with their acting, and then you look in the corners and there's one guy like
running,
just like totally normal human stuff in the background.
Zombies weren't as good as other zombies.
We'll get into that because I think we'll get into that later.
We'll get into that.
I have other theories on that, but yes, they arrive, they get on some haulers, they go towards where the ship is, and it's a cool scene seeing the Star Destroyer going into the ring. I thought that was great, and that's where Ezra explains that Thrawn found this place, repaired the ship, and woke up the Night Sisters.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, that's fun information that we learned there. And that's why they're indebted to Thrawn, like, because we were like, why are they just going along with Thrawn? And that's the answer.
Well, yeah, in the last episode they call him my lord, and I was like, wait, what?
Right.
What did he do? Yeah.
We know what he did.
So the one thing that I didn't understand, so like this happens and it goes to Thrawn, and he gets a report from Enoch, and it's like, okay, there was contact that they engaged the ship, but then we've lost contact. And he's like, all right, we're gonna assume that they're lost, whatever. But he's like, there's little to no chance that they can stop us from leaving, but we're gonna make a ground assault. And like, I didn't understand why he's like, we're doing this offensive attack on them when he just said there's little to no chance of them stopping us.
So it makes sense because it's Thrawn, because he's a contingency guy. And he's like, maybe there is no chance. But if there's one thing that I've learned, it's not to underestimate a Jedi.
Well, and even when they like say, "Oh, we're sending out this ground assault," Thrawn literally says the word, "You're like volunteers or sacrifices."
Yeah, I mean, he was
yeah.
literally sending them out to die.
Well, because that was later when Morgan gathered that group, and he said they all know what's going to happen now. Like, yeah, they're making a sacrifice. They're volunteers. So
Yeah. So like, I think because they were sacrificing themselves never to go home.
right.
No matter what, they're not going home. And they're becoming zombies.
Yep. And
I'm just happy that we kind of called that.
what's that?
The zombies.
Yeah.
So
Like we loosely called it.
So-
Like we called it, but we didn't.
Oh, that's a
I
beautiful
don't-
shot too.
I think there's some interpretation. I think that the troopers, most of the troopers are still people, and the troopers that became zombies were not zombies before.
Oh yeah. You're right.
So
I think
like,
they weren't. I think they were
now
normal
those-
humans, and then when they died, they became zombies.
Yeah.
now those death troopers, that's
Those
a
were
different
zombies
story.
all the time.
I think that they had been dead for a while.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was weird.
Because they were like rotting out too.
Yeah, they were acting.
That was the closest
Literally, yeah.
the book.
Yeah.
The closest to the book.
When the piece of the helmet came off, I was
Yeah.
like,
I was like, this is so cool.
yes, it's happening.
Do
I have
we,
like 30 minutes left in that book. I'm almost done with it.
do we
Yeah,
want
I
to
need to,
tell people?
huh?
Do
Not
we
yet.
wanna no,
No, wait till we get there. Wait till we get there.
like it's a surprise.
Yeah, wait till we
Like,
get there.
Day of is a surprise.
No, I mean, if you want to, we can tell people during this episode since we have such a good segue. But I don't care.
It's your thing. It's your special day. If you don't want me to say
How many
anything,
people are here?
there's 7, including
There's
me
7
and
people?
Micaiah.
Kids in here. Oh yeah.
I'm
is the
saying-
first time that you're gonna do you with Andrew, and I've read the book.
Yeah.
I was this close to also.
You
Dude,
could do
but
it.
get the freaking book,
It's
man.
too late now. I already spent my credits.
Oh, you can buy more credits.
Just buy the book.
But it was stupid because
No, just
the credit was more expensive than just buying the audiobook.
okay. the-
But then just buy.
just get the book.
But the whole point of EU with Andrew is learning from Andrew.
Well, you can still teach us.
Okay.
Yeah, but I want to learn. I want to hear. From,
All right. So for everyone listening, here's a sneak peek. If you liked the zombie stormtroopers in this episode, and you also like EU with Andrew, you're
And
definitely going to
Halloween.
want to be here on the 25th of October
That's all you're gonna say.
for a special Halloween EU with Andrew. We're
All
doing
right.
something very spooky
What
that
does
may or may not
What does that mean,
involve.
Micaiah?
Dang,
What is
Sean's
that?
tired.
I don't even know what that means. For what?
I don't even know, but I like it.
That doesn't make. I have no idea what she's
I-
referring to.
Don't know where this is coming from, but if you like death troopers that are actually dead and you like EU with Andrew, you should be here on the 25th.
Awesome.
which also means that I need to start reading.
You haven't read it? That's
No,
like 2 weeks away.
I have read it.
I mean, like again.
It's like a 6-hour audiobook, right?
Yeah, it's not going to take me, dude. It won't take me long to read. But the other thing is, because it's going to be, I'm going to basically be summarizing the story. I'm going to have to like actually take notes and stuff. So
You could do a PowerPoint presentation too.
I don't know.
You have
I
more
thought about it.
content of troopers that you can add in there now.
Yeah.
Add a
So,
couple ones
anyways,
from here and there.
you like Death Troopers? I'm not saying I'm doing Death Troopers, but I'm not saying I'm doing Death Troopers either.
Whatever Yellow Snow said in the chat. So if you're watching or listening to this after,
Death Troopers. Yeah. McKay is exposing me. I do reread a lot of my Star Wars books that I read.
he
Anyways.
gets his money's worth.
Oh yeah.
So that's all that matters.
I can't purchase a book and just read it once. I feel like it's a waste.
Yeah, me too. Lost Stars. I need to read that again. 7 times maybe. Maybe one of these days you guys will do it with me.
No, I told you. Maybe we'll do it Valentine's Day 2025.
This man said
Because we're
2
doing
years.
we're doing a different love story for Valentine's Day this year. Remember, I told you it's in the schedule.
Yeah, but I haven't purchased that.
Oh, you have till February 14th to get
Well,
it.
don't use your credit, Drew. Save your credit.
No, you can use your credit.
No, don't use it,
Why wouldn't you?
because then you won't be able to get the book.
I'm before he's saying
That was a joke. It was
That
a
was a
joke.
jab.
It was. I was just.
Yeah. What if I just not do it and then Jeremiah has to do a Jeremiah love story to me?
No, then I'm not doing it. I'll skip that week. Like, I don't care.
Oh,
But yes. So Thrawn is like, I am not going to negotiate with Anakin Skywalker's former apprentice. Not doing it. Screw that guy. Screw the apprentice. And so he's like, basically,
Did you see the chat, Jeremiah?
which one?
Andrew mail some of the books to Jeremiah so he can get your money's worth too.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Oh man, no, because I buy
the
have
book
2 books.
and the audio book, so I double dip.
that's
And
true.
so, like,
me
if you
too.
sent me
Hey,
books and I
Dude,
just had to pay for the
I want to
audio
hear about it. I have a whole thing.
I'm just saying, if you want me to read more books, you can cut my costs in half.
Micaiah, no. Micaiah is onto something. My books never get back to me.
That is true.
Okay,
One of my brother-in-laws
me-
has Death Troopers. and
I'm
one,
more responsible than that. I would get them back to you.
Jeremiah would.
Yeah.
Out of
I mean,
out of
if
us
anybody
three,
would,
Jeremiah
yeah,
would.
yeah.
I probably would too, actually. And I would mail
You would, but it would take you 6 months.
No, a lot longer than that. I've been trying to have him do something for 8 months, and he still hasn't done it yet.
Wait,
He
what
knows
is
what I'm
that?
talking about.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't even know what it is because he keeps forgetting to do it.
Yeah, it's
No,
true.
you
We
don't,
do know where you
Micaiah.
live.
Micaiah doesn't know where I live.
Well, she knows by proxy. I know where you live.
Does. You haven't moved.
But she's never been here
No,
in my apartment.
No, but you know.
just hear her laughing in the other room.
But anyway.
Basically a part of the podcast at this point. Anyway, sorry. Let's keep going.
So this scene then is very similar to Avengers Endgame when Thanos is like, rain fire, and it starts shooting turbo blasters down.
There's
the
a
ground.
shot of the underside of the Chimera, and then the monolith is in the middle. And I paused it on a freaking turbo laser, and there's just a little bit of like an anamorphic lens flare on that sucker.
There is
This
nothing looks better than the other underside of the Chimera. Just say that.
He likes the design on the bottom of the ship.
The Packian design, by the way.
You know, that's I'm gonna derail. I'm not gonna
The,
talk.
the raw pack, Ray pack.
Drew, this might be not Drew. Andrew, this might be a hot take, but I do not like lens flares in movies and shows. It's stupid.
They have to. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm with you. You have to use them in the right context. Like, dude, Transformers, screw that. every freaking thing is just like you go back and watch a Michael Bay movie. Everything has a lens flare. People, someone farts in the background. The fart has a lens flare.
Michaela literally said
She said it before you said it.
before you said it.
Oh wait, did she really?
Yeah, like
you
you didn't even know she was saying. Like, you didn't know each other were going to say it when you guys both said it.
You guys,
Yeah.
she's delayed. So
That's true. Well, no, she can. Well, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, lens flares. Like I think if they're used, if they're used to add depth and add drama to a scene, great.
But it
like
doesn't though for me ever. There's no
well,
context.
it's fine
because it's an accident because of technology. That's why they exist.
Okay, not.
But in real life,
if you
don't
use an
see
anamorphic
lens flares when you're looking at a
but
city.
if you use an anamorphic lens, you're going to get lens flares with that.
I get that, but I'm saying why add them in when they're not part of real life? When
you add them in because if you're shooting with an anamorphic lens and you're adding something in CGI that wasn't there when you shot it practically, you have to add the same lens flare in to make it fit.
Why do you need a lens flare? Like, what is the purpose of the lens? Adding
but
if you, lens flare.
If you're using a lens that causes a flare and you add a bunch of CG stuff in it and it doesn't have the same lighting, it's going to look weird. It's a continuity thing.
But then you have the lens flare in the middle of your covering up everything. Like, it's stupid. I just don't get it. Kind of like motion blur. I don't get it.
Motion blur literally just happens.
I don't even get it. Like when
motion blur is just a thing that look.
No, I know, but when I look at like side by side a scene with motion blur and one without motion blur, I can't tell the difference.
Well,
I don't get it.
It's okay.
The corridor crew people, they're always talking about motion blur stuff. I'm like, I have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
I don't see a difference.
But
it's too blurry.
Back to Transformers. You can't see anything. You can't. They're just. Anyways,
blurred up.
I digress. But I will say this shot that I paused on right here. I mean, it's a cool. It's just a little one. It's just a little bit of a green, like an anamorphic lens flare from the turbo laser, because it's emitting light, and that light would be hitting. It doesn't matter.
They definitely shot it with an anamorphic lens. That scene, so it makes perfect sense.
Oh, Jeremiah.
So stupid.
Anyways.
Oh, we're gonna put a lens flare in a Pixar film because it makes sense.
Hey, Toy Story, don't calm down. I'm actually, I think they kind of did actually add that in Cars. Now that you say that,
well, that's a stylistic choice.
That's true.
Those are because everything shines.
A 4-year-old watching Cars is really gonna care.
It's not for the kids,
but a 4-year-old isn't the one who makes it. The adults are. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yes. So they're running through the turbo blaster stuff. Like, I don't know how they don't.
Turbo blasters.
That's what they are, right?
Turbo lasers.
Turbo
blasters looks. That sounds like one of those like bootleg things that you can. It's like a Nerf turbo blaster, like a bootleg toy. Anyways, turbo lasers.
I'm sorry, I don't know my.
No, it's okay.
My lasers.
It's just me. I'm the nerd.
They're getting shot at by
I'm the nerd. I'm the nerd that every time they fire with those things, I have literally looked at Micaiah and go, "Yeah, those are turbo lasers."
Because yell snow in the chat, all caps, turbo blaster.
Turbo blaster.
Thing. Jeremiah, I feel
people
you.
People are hating on me tonight. This is like a bad. I thought this was gonna be a fun episode. I don't want this being mean to me,
dude. I was literally the Debbie Downer for the first third of this episode.
No, I was. Don't take that away from me.
Oh, sorry. You can have it. I'll let you have it. All I'm saying is these effects look really good. The explosions and stuff.
Yep. So this green stuff is getting shot down from this thing that's floating in the air. And I don't know how they didn't get killed. Like, I know they got the force on their side. I know, I get it, but it's just kind of like,
dude. If Sabine can just believe in herself and bring a lightsaber to her, they can dodge
down,
freaking
whatever. Calm down about that. Get over it. They're going. Ahsoka's like, Ezra, open the door, and then she's like, Sabine, do it too. Like, so she's trusting Sabine. I love that.
Yeah, great. Everyone's a Jedi. The Noti can.
Okay, but in
she's
I
trying
don't
to be a master to her apprentice
I don't
and
think
give her
Sabine did
confidence
anything there.
and trusting
She
her.
never should have been the. It doesn't matter. It
Why
doesn't.
can't
We're
you
not.
just accept what it is and just move on? Like,
I'll do that.
it's
Go ahead.
like
You're getting heated. It's only 8:00 for you.
every episode, it's like, screw the sequel trilogy. We could have got this then, and then you're gonna complain about Sabine every episode for every episode you're on.
I
Like,
just don't
it's
think
just
she should have been force sensitive.
no one's disagreeing with you, but that's what we got.
I
Just
am.
accept
I
it.
like it, but that's just me.
Oh, okay. Well, sick.
I didn't. It doesn't.
So
bother
I
me at all.
love that the fact that Ahsoka wanted Sabine to help try and open the door. I
Yeah.
thought it was great. I loved it. Couldn't have any complaints. They get through the door and they almost got smashed, dude. Like,
Well, I don't think Sabine actually did anything, but it was the fact that, like you said,
you know, maybe she
I don't
did.
think she did. Well, maybe if she did, she didn't know she did.
Well, right, because she's getting shot by green stuff coming from something above her.
They almost.
But that thing
got
smashed, and
smooshed.
if you go watch my reaction video, I thought they were gonna get smashed, and I scream out, and then I'm like, "All right, calm down, Jeremiah." I said that.
Imagine if in this episode,
That's how they died. That's the show.
imagine if all of this setup, Ezra and Sabine
That
are
would've been
just.
awesome. That would've been
Pancakes.
so
And
cool.
I'm not talking about Yaddle from Tales of the Jedi, where you think she's dead and then she no, they're gone, and then you're like,
That would have been.
what?
That's the show.
That one.
And then Ahsoka doesn't get on the ship, and Thrawn gets away, and that's the show.
So, I thought that was just an intense scene. So they get in, and they just start getting attacked or shot at by all these. The troopers come down that Morgan got as volunteers, and
Yep.
they go down. There's a lot. And there's like, I don't know, like 30 of them maybe or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're just
At least.
3v20 or 20, 30 troopers or whatever. And I liked it. I like how Ahsoka took the lead and was like, all right, fall back so we draw them out here into the open. I thought that was great. I thought it was great that
They work together super well.
Sabine was trying to do her thing, but then Ahsoka said, all right, she's going to be better if she goes behind us with her blaster. So Sabine, blasters, I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I made this comment in the Discord, but Sabine is basically the personification of Ezra's first lightsaber. Where it's a lightsaber and blaster. Like, she can do both. Like, I like that saber. I know you hate that thing. I like it. I think it's very versatile in what you could do with that kind of weapon.
It's a saber and it's a gimmick. It's a freaking gimmick.
It was
But
for
anyways.
kids.
Way better than an Inquisitor saber.
Facts. That's true. Not wrong about that.
Nope.
You think it's worse than the
I think it's
Inquisitor
worse than the Inquisitor
And the
saber.
helicopter?
What?
Dude, what blows my mind is that Inquisitor probably died from that already once. And that boy tried to do it again.
You talking about Merrick?
Yeah.
Oh.
He probably died from that already once, and he did it again as a zombie.
I don't know. I like that saber. I think it's just as a unique way of fighting that never got utilized fully to its full potential. But oh god,
dude, you try to use something like that against like an actual Jedi, they're just gonna be like swat.
I think there's a reason why.
how do you know?
Do you think any like trained Jedi is gonna fall for that trick?
Who said it's only to fight Jedi? Like, that doesn't
No,
make
I
sense.
just-
Like, if you're fighting Morgan with her magic blades and you're locked, and he could just push another button with his pinky and it shoots her right in the face, like, perfect. Like, you could do combos with that. You can block.
Jeremiah
You can
said
shoot.
you can do combos.
Yeah, like,
Cheat codes, fatalities.
yeah. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Like, what's like what's
What was that?
what's the
Was that
problem?
You heard it here first,
Yes.
folks. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's what Jeremiah says.
Jeremiah's a good teacher, you guys. Listen to him.
And so that was great. I really liked finally seeing Ezra with a lightsaber doing his thing.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
It just felt like Rebels.
Yeah. And he was really good too. That was the other thing. I was like, it shows that he still has all of his skills.
Gakman, I do not, just so you know. I
What,
have
Jeep?
never watched NASCAR in my life, and I never plan on watching NASCAR.
You don't like left turns?
I do.
If it was right turns, I'd maybe consider it, but
What about Formula One?
No, I like Formula 2 better.
Oh, get out.
I fixed my button.
Thank you.
Um,
Jeff Gordon forever. Number 24, baby.
so yeah, I thought it was a great. The whole day just killed them all. It was great. That was fun.
Yeah, and then they lingered. And
yeah,
that's
why
when
did
you
they just
knew.
stop? Like
Yeah,
that's
literally when I knew what was happening.
But they all die, and then it goes straight to the mothers chanting in a triangle circle thing, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Is it happening? Is it happening?" And it goes to a trooper laying there, and you just start seeing green fog come out of it. I'm like, "Yes!" Like, I was so pumped about this. It was great.
Yeah, I was too.
It was the
It
coolest
made
thing
my
ever.
day.
I thought it was great. I just loved it. There wasn't really much to say. I don't know what else to say. I just thought it was great. So then they start retreating and they go up the little spiral staircase thing, just trying to get away. That was funny when Ezra's in a headlock and he's like, "Careful, careful, careful! Don't like shoot," because Sabine's like, and she just pulls out her saber and kills the guy. I thought that was funny. But yeah. And so then at this point, the ring has finally finished attaching. Yes.
You know what? You know who I feel really sorry for? I feel really sorry for the VFX artists who had to track where the lightsabers went through people. Because the blade, there's no way a full blade was there. When they're interacting with the stormtroopers, there's no way that they had a full blade. Part of the blade was CG. And so they had to track. Because like if you go back and watch the entire thing, you know, they're cutting through armor and you can see the cuts in the armor. And someone had to go through and track all of those and make sure that the cuts lined up with where the sabers were. And I'm just like, yo, that is a lot of work.
I don't know. I'm sure it is, but I don't think it's probably as bad as... Because you could just kind of get the gist. Like, there's that sliding move when Ezra cuts that trooper in the gluteus maximus. Like,
yeah,
you just get a general streak across the butt armor and you're good to go. Like, you don't have to have it exact.
That's true.
But yes, whoever that is, we get a gold star from Andrew tonight.
Yeah, here you
go. So they close the doors on the staircase, and then they hear the ship again, and that's the ring latching on, and it starts to depart a little bit. And Thrawn is like, "Our enemies are almost here." So he's talking to Morgan. "You need to buy us more time." And Morgan is like, understands that he's basically saying, "You guys stay here."
There's really good acting on her part.
Right.
You can follow the subtleties in her face
of her realizing.
Yes. Yeah. And I was like, yo, she killed that. That was really good. And she has black eyes. So you don't get the whole, like, the same expression, too. It was really good.
Yeah. And so she realizes that she's basically getting left behind to stop the enemy. And Thrawn says, last thing he says to her is it for the Empire? Yeah, for the Empire.
Yep.
She doesn't say anything back.
Yep.
When everyone else passes by, including the mothers, she says, "For Dathomir."
Yep.
And I'm like, all right. I get so, like, sad. Like, I felt bad, even though she's like a bad guy. I felt bad for her that she's also a victim of the Empire, even after all this time.
Everyone is a victim of the Empire, one way or the other.
Like, I felt bad for her. I like Morgan's character from when we first saw her to now. Like, I thought she was an interesting character.
Yeah.
And she's finally got, you know, the gift of shadows and the blade of Talzin, and she's finally, like, going up into ranks, and she thinks she's got a place, got a future, and now it's done. And I felt bad for her. What does that
Yep.
even mean? What your wife said?
I don't know.
Oh, is
maybe
that
she's
this right here?
maybe she's referring to the stormtrooper. Yeah.
Oh, I should have got like a green light and like had it like coming out the
Ah.
neck. That would be cool.
Dude, you should paint his eyes green.
Get green
Good.
lights to. I got these little button lights right here. I could put green over it, and
Install him in his brain.
You know, you had a little bit of a lens flare there, Jeremiah.
because that's a practical lens right there that would happen like that, but to the natural eye, it doesn't exist.
Hmm.
But yes, so she goes down, and this what didn't make sense to me is why she only wants to fight Ahsoka and she lets Ezra and Sabine go.
What is she gonna do? How's she gonna? There's no way she can take them all three.
I'm
of them
not
on.
saying she can't. I'm just saying why wouldn't she try to like block,
Because
stand at the door? Like, all right,
because she's smart. She knows she can't take all three of them.
but like,
She's fought Ahsoka before.
but
Now,
does
granted,
Thrawn think she could?
Well, the whole point was just to slow them down. The point wasn't to stop them. It was just to slow them down long enough that he could get away.
But
We're all
Ezra still got
sacrificed.
on there.
What?
So like,
She didn't do a great job.
She didn't know that.
but like whether she was there or not,
She should have danced
Ezra would have been up
Star
there.
Lord style. That would have really confused them. Imagine if she walks in the room, they walk in, and she starts popping, locking, and dropping it. Get out. That's what I'm saying. You would never expect that to happen.
I can't with you right now.
Would it work?
Probably for you, yeah. But
It would have
But-
worked
but
for half
it-
the audience to stop watching the show.
Anyways,
This isn't She-Hulk. We're not twerking. At
I haven't
the end of
watched
the
it.
show.
dude,
I
that
haven't
is the
watched that.
worst MCU thing there is. It's terrible. Don't
The
watch that
twerk-
crappy show. But Loki season 2 starts. So
I'm
tomorrow,
so excited for Loki.
dude, I am so pumped. Loki was so good.
Dude, Loki is so good.
Did you see Loki, Andrew?
yeah.
It's low key so sweet.
Get out. Stop.
No, it's high key, dude.
Yeah,
like this
high
is
I was cringing the entire time y'all were saying that because I was like, someone's gonna say it.
Dude, it's so good though. It's so good.
I am excited.
Good.
Like Steph's whole family, we're like planning to go watch it at my in-laws.
Is
Like,
it tomorrow night or Friday night?
It comes
tomorrow
out
night.
tomorrow after like at 8.
Okay.
But I think we're gonna go watch it Friday, like everyone together, because we watched that like during COVID, all of us together, like through the group watch or whatever,
Mm.
and we always talked about it like all the time. Because that show was so good.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Cool.
I cringe too. Okay, Will, chill.
But yeah, so first we'll do the Ezra and Sabine stuff, and then we'll go back to Ahsoka and
Okay, it comes out when the
Oregon.
podcast ends, Jeremiah.
perfect.
We're pretty close, actually.
Well, we got a lot of voicemails, so we're gonna be here a while
Okay,
still.
Oh god.
Yes, so Ezra and Sabine, they go up and they got to face off with 2 Death Troopers.
This is sick.
And
This is sick.
so immediately I was like, hold on. That final scene in Rebels when Ezra is up in the bridge with Thrawn,
Yeah.
like there's 2 dark troopers there that get shut behind the door when Ezra's up there. I'm like, those are probably the same 2 there, which is great.
Yep.
So, but these 2 dark troopers,
Death Troopers.
Death Troopers,
Yes.
were zombies.
So I like that they didn't give it away right away.
Right.
I like because they take enough damage. They take a few hits, right? And you're like, even when Sabine stabs the one, I'm like, a normal Death Trooper would probably try to still fight through that because of how they were trained.
Right.
And so it really it takes you a bit to be like, are these actually zombies or are they just really dedicated stormtroopers and they're really BA? So I like that. And then you don't really know until the faceplate comes off and
Right.
it's the old crusty
Right.
jaw.
So a lot of people are, the question is, are these night troopers in general all zombies? And then, but like, I think that the night troopers are just people, there's regular troopers, but these,
They're
Do you
they're a
think
person and their
forever?
name is Anakin.
but the, but these death troopers were zombies. So it's like,
Yeah.
how do you understand?
Well,
Well,
we
I mean,
know because
they either growl or they talk back. You ask them a question.
well, no, I was gonna say they actually we know that they weren't all zombies because they faced them all before. They faced the troopers before, and Ezra was destroying them by just pushing them around. The last episode, so we know they weren't all zombies.
Not necessarily, because they just
They
weren't
never woke back
reanimated.
up.
Well, but
But
also
they didn't wake up
who was
until the
chanting
Night
Thrawn?
Sisters told
Who
them
was
to get
chanting Thrawn when he came
No,
out?
I think the Night Sisters made them zombies.
up. Yeah.
I think it was both. I think some of them were already dead and they were reanimated, and I think some of them were alive
Correct.
and then they ended
Agreed.
up being reanimated.
But like, going like you said for the last episode, when they attack the Nodi, like those troopers could have also been. Like
We'll never know.
Like these all these troopers all could have been just dead, or been zombies, but then they get killed. But then they could also be reanimated if the mothers. Like,
No, I don't think they become zombies until they get reanimated. I think they're dead.
Yeah, because they also had the brains enough to respond to the retreat signal too.
Yeah, they weren't zombies
true,
before.
but I'm saying, but with these death troopers, like they didn't have the green magic, they didn't have the green eyes,
Yeah, they
and
did.
they were. No, they didn't.
Oh, the Death Troopers
Like these.
I think that's because they had been reanimated for so long.
for a while.
So that's my point. Like the green stuff, the magic, like foggy stuff, could fade off
I'm
after
pretty
time.
sure the ones that they fought were not zombies. The ones that they fought earlier were not zombies. Because they're all saying, let's go, let's go, let's go. And like they were talking normal, they moved normally.
Hut, 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 hut,
Yeah.
hut.
I don't think they're zombies yet. And that's why I think the sacrifice, when Thrawn said they're going to sacrifice, I thought I was viewing it after the fact that it meant more than just their sacrifice to not leave. It was also the sacrifice that they're going to become zombies too. Like they probably assumed that was going to happen.
Oh, I don't know about that.
That's
Ooh,
what
and
I was.
Sabine
getting
gets
out of it.
clotheslined.
So
Anyways.
I don't think there were zombies before. I think they become zombies. And I think
it's a mix. Some of them are, some of them aren't.
well, yeah, I think, but I don't think those groups. I think they were all normal. But I do think that there is probably people that with Thrawn, like I think his main guy, the guy with that cool helmet, I'm pretty sure that guy's a zombie.
No.
Well,
He talks like a droid. Like,
yeah, he doesn't.
The C-3PO.
sound-
no, he talks like a person. He doesn't have a.
Is his name Anakin?
What's with you and Anakin?
I'm a
Little
person and my
Annie.
name is Anakin. It's a meme. Anyways, don't worry about it.
But yeah, I just really think that, like you said, some of them are, but I think all the ones that were out there, those were all real. They weren't zombies yet. I think the witches made them zombies.
Okay.
Because if you like, Ezra stabs that one like right away, and then he pulls a Lord of the Rings reference and he pulls it in farther. Which, if you watch Lord of the Rings, that's what's his name did.
Yeah.
He pulled in the blade and
Yeah.
then he licked it out of his arm and then got his head cut off. Literally, actually, how Ezra killed that one.
Yeah.
Kind of on the nose.
So
I love when they cut the head off. They didn't show the head coming off.
Such a
directly
good
because the pole was
scene.
there and then it rolled.
Such a
I
good.
I don't understand why they just show it.
It's just
to keep the rating
it-
down a little bit.
that, but like also like I feel like I don't know, like I feel
think
like
if
it
they
worked
would've
really, really well.
They literally show Ahsoka decapitate 4 Mandalorians in the Clone Wars, but they can't show a
It says
zombie
to
being
animate.
It's
decapitated.
animated.
It's animated. It's different. It's literally different.
And
Rating
you
wise,
telling me these Death Troopers weren't animated too in certain scenes?
I'm just saying.
Okay, it's a complete. That's
That's
very
different.
I just think, why don't they
Animation-wise.
show it getting decapitated? Like,
Because it would have to be rated PG-13.
it already is TV-14, isn't it?
I don't know.
I'll find out in a second.
I just really liked that scene. I thought it was a cool scene. I thought it was very clever camera work. I like
It
literally,
is TV-14. You're right.
I literally made a remark to Micaiah about how cool that shot was when it happened. So,
Okay.
yep.
So Sabine's getting choked to death, and
And here we go.
and she's like, the only thing I can do now is trust in the Force, because if I don't, I am dead. And so she reaches out.
Skywalker.
She reaches out, and it wiggles a little bit, and then she grabs it, and then she Kylo Ren's it right in the head and kills him. I thought that was great. I liked it.
Very Kylo Ren with the one.
That's what I just said.
Oh, sorry, I was reading the chat. My bad.
I literally just said
He did. I was like, why are you repeating what your mind just said?
Because I was reading the chat. Sorry.
So I liked it. I'm like, it makes perfect sense that this was. She had no other choice. She had to trust in the Force. That was the only choice she had.
What about her little rope thingy on her wrist?
That was her other wrist. She was holding the guy's hand with that wrist and was on the other side of his body.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just stop hating on Sabine before. I just accept it. It was great. It makes sense. I love it. It was. I was still waiting to think that it was Ezra, maybe doing it to like yeet it to her, but it went right back to him after that, and he was getting yeeted himself. So
Yeah.
then
In
that's when
Jeremiah's
he.
defense, she does stab the dude like right in the head, and they showed that, but they didn't show
You
that.
can't decapitate because that's bad.
Yeah.
Well,
in your defense, yeah, that's pretty much the same thing.
it's the difference though is like
Limbs are separated from someone.
right. So it's like a burning hole can be interpreted differently than a literal head being separated from a body.
But it's a zombie.
But we
head.
saw Jango Fett's get his head taken off.
It's a movie. It's a different rating system.
Actually, that's true.
But that's PG-13 versus TV-14.
Dude,
Like,
I
it's
don't
literally
know.
saying
I don't know.
That
Jango
was
Fett King
also a
Decapitate is
long
for a
time ago.
younger audience than this show.
That was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. This is
Yeah.
closer in a galaxy farther away, so it's different.
Different galaxy, different ratings, I guess.
Yes, come on, Jeremiah. Duh.
So they defeat the troopers, and they run on the platform to the ship that's leaving, and Sabine's like, "We gotta go. Like, we don't have any time. Like, I'll push you. Like, you run and jump, and then I'll push you." And Ezra's like, huh? And she's like, "Do it. We don't have any choice. Do it. Ezra's like, "All right, I don't have a choice." Because they only have one choice. It's the only choice they have. And he goes back. And I like how he says, like, go to himself. Like, it matters. Just go. Like, she's going to see you run. But whatever. He runs. He jumps. And he starts to fall. And she pushes. And he goes way up. And I thought it was great. Especially that he missed the ledge. Like, he wasn't far enough. And he's hanging on the ledge. And the two troopers are up there, like, looking down. And then he jumps up and pushes one off, and then Sabine shoots the other for him.
Yep.
I liked it. Andrew hated it, but
I didn't hate it.
she force pushed. You hate that. She's not supposed to do
It's just
this.
like I read so much canon and non-canon stuff about like how much training
it takes to use the Force correctly, even with a clear mind. And all of a sudden, she's just like,
But she had a clear mind. She was focused. She had
right.
full
No, no.
trust in the
What I'm
Force.
trying to say is like there's so much material about how much training it takes
Prior to
with
this,
a
he's
clear
never
mind.
even lifted
Right.
a cup.
But here's the thing, though. What about in Empire Strikes Back, lifting the X-wing?
Oh, what a-
Yoda literally believed that Luke could lift the X-wing, and he had no.
Yeah, but
at that point, all he did was
Luke
pull a
is
lightsaber to himself.
literally a Skywalker. He has a cheat code.
Yeah,
He has
but
a pass.
what does Luke Skywalker say in Mandalorian season 2 finale? That talent without training is nothing. Like, so it doesn't matter if you have
Ooh,
the
Jeremiah.
highest amount of midichlorians in the history of the universe. If you don't train to do it or know how to do it,
Yeah,
like, it doesn't
when
matter.
is she trained to force yeet someone? When is
Because
she
in
trained to fight so well with a lightsaber?
This whole show.
the whole show, and
But she
probably years. She probably had more training than Luke did by the time he got to episode
That's actually true.
Empire Strikes Back.
that's whatever.
Granted, the Skywalker.
You don't
thing-
agree? You don't agree that
I mean, like she's had training fighting and stuff, yeah, but like the stuff that we see after it's like a completely different character fighting wise.
I'm just saying if
when you see
Yoda
these backflips with
could
Yoda on her
believe
back.
that Luke could lift the X-wing with no training at all, I think that it's totally reasonable that Sabine, with more training, who was in the moment, had no other choice but had to do this, could do it.
And Anakin Force Ghost was helping too on the side. We just didn't see him. Okay.
Apparently,
Does that help? The camera pans as Anakin going like this.
I mean, to be fair though, force wise, Luke had more training before that moment than Sabine has.
No, Drew and I
Yeah,
just
because
said
he had
this-
been training and doing backflips and stuff all through Dagobah for a little bit.
True.
So if you know
And he
how
had
to-
freaking Yoda as a teacher.
So that doesn't matter.
He lifted rocks.
All I'm saying is
And-
like two episodes ago,
Death
she was like
Star.
cup, nothing, and then all of a
No,
sudden she's like,
Hey, it's like 5 episodes now. No,
I don't know.
4 episodes ago.
I just think that in the moment, it was her only choice that she had. She had no choice to doubt, no choice to fail. Like, she had
What if you
the
just
only choice
didn't-
she had was to do that in that moment.
What if
So-
they just didn't get on the Star Destroyer and they found another way?
Called the whales.
Like,
Just whistled at the whales and come back. They didn't
I don't
die.
know.
They just went around the
don't know.
planet.
Guys, it's good writing. It's like poetry that Ezra gets to go home and they get stuck behind. That's
Yeah, I
why.
don't like that.
I
but
think it's amazing.
The Force thing doesn't bother me. The Ezra thing kind of bothers me.
Jeez, I saw that. Thank you, K65. The lens flare blurred out the Force Ghost. You're right.
Yeah, come on.
I guess that's one good use to be plot armor for the lens flare.
there's a lot of plot armor here.
I just love that Jeremiah is defending this.
Yeah,
Not me. I love it because Jeremiah was with you 100%.
I'm just so tired of like random people getting force abilities that don't make sense.
Hey,
There's
if
two
Oprah
people
gives it to you,
in
you
Disney
get it.
era that has done that.
That's too many.
No, it's not. Finn.
Yeah, Finn.
3 too many.
Finn. No, Finn was one, and Sabine.
And
Was-
Ray.
Ray, what do you mean?
Why is that random?
Because she woke up with it.
Yeah.
She had a
What?
good night's sleep and she can use the
Yeah, she just woke up and then all of a sudden she's just like, yeah, at the freaking end of The Last Jedi, she's like, "Pfft," and then all the rocks, dude. Anyways.
We've talked about this in great depth. That it's the force dyad between her and Kylo. Kylo is the
Yes,
one, and she was force sensitive before that because she had dreams of Ahch-To before she ever met Kylo Ren.
Yeah, I know. It's just
Why
I
is
had
that
dreams
crazy?
too.
What about Luke? How is it any different than Luke having no force ability? And then Obi-Wan shows up and
yeah, but I feel like Luke struggles more. Like he gets his rear end handed to him by Darth Vader in Empire. Like he is not a good Jedi in Empire. And then all of these other characters wake up and they're like Jedi Master level skills.
it's just one person, Rey. And it makes
Anyways.
perfect sense with the story because she has a force dyad connection with Kylo, who has
Yeah, I know.
all of that. So before you were okay with that, but now you don't because Sabine is force sensitive?
I was okay with her and Kylo.
Yeah, we've talked
No.
about this before. The dyad in the Force, like you like expressed like it's an interesting thing and like liked it.
It's interesting, but I hate it.
Why?
I don't. This isn't about those movies.
Okay, fine, whatever. So Sabine is gonna try and run herself and jump, but as she runs back to like get a running start, she sees that Ahsoka is up on the platform fighting, and so now we can rewind back to Morgan and Ahsoka first starting to fight earlier. So I really like this fight. I thought it was great. Really amazing choreography. I just really like the fast pace. I like the one wide shot, one shot scene. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it helps that the actress is a legit martial artist too.
Right.
Like,
So she was doing some of it, but I'm sure she had a
Yeah. But
Trouble
like,
for some-
it always helps when
That's-
you've had training.
Well, and
Right.
it really felt like round 2 from the previous time
Mando.
they fought.
Yeah,
Like
Right.
it really felt like that. It was really cool.
yeah.
Right.
Except
Great
this
fight.
time, Ahsoka
Choreo
did
was
it
great.
better.
Choreo was great. This fight felt the closest to like the prequel level,
Speed.
the ferocity and the speed and
Mhm.
stuff. Yeah, I really enjoyed that, but it wasn't over the top, and I love that.
All right.
Yeah.
So as they're fighting, the night troopers, zombies, have made their way, are making their way up, and they get into the same original spot where they're fighting. And Ahsoka,
Perfect spot for a dance battle.
she gets pushed back with the troopers, and so then they go up to the top platform where Sabine is trying to get her running start to jump. And Sabine's like, what do I do? What do I do? And she turns around and it looks like she's running to go jump. And it goes back to Ahsoka. And so she's surrounded by the troopers and then fighting Morgan. And they're just fighting. Great stuff. Sometimes each of them get thrown down and they have to get up. Cool choreography. And Ahsoka gets knocked down. And Morgan's like, you lose. You're going to die here alone. Blah, blah, blah.
Her lightsaber gets cut in half.
Sad day.
Any more
You know,
thoughts?
she has it later on in the show.
Are you
episode.
sad
Yeah,
like
she had-
complaining or sad just because it's sad?
It was sad because it's sad. I mean, like,
I don't know. You're
that-
complaining about a lot of stuff, so I don't know if it's
Oh
like
my
bad writing or
gosh.
something.
No, it's just
people
sad
get their
that-
lightsabers cut in half all the time
Oh
in Star
my
Wars now. That never
gosh.
happened in the EU once.
Anyways, a lot of the writing in the EU is better, but I will
Yeah,
say
because you spell Luke with 2 U's and it's a completely different character.
still better than the sequels. But anyways, she has that lightsabers later in the show.
She does. She has it again,
Yeah, she has both of her lightsabers at the in the end shot.
which doesn't really make any sense.
But
I guess
maybe she fixed it.
I guess I didn't notice. Because
Yeah.
she's there with the ship anyway, so she probably had the parts
Yeah, maybe she
That's
did.
true.
to fix.
I mean, I hope that's the case
Or
because
it's
I
one of
really
the
like
one-
her with 2 lightsabers.
Or it's one of the lightsabers that she might have just grabbed one of her spare lightsabers or something.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I didn't notice. Was it at the very end when
Yeah, when
the
she had her
Force- with the
poncho
Force-
on.
with the Force Ghost scene? Or was it before that when
It
it's
was
still light
before
out?
that when it was daytime.
When they get back to the Nodi?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
I have to go check that.
Does Morgan's does that sword? Is it just me, or does it just remind me of Power Rangers?
Oh, the dragon dagger?
Dragon? No. Like the White Ranger sword from the movies.
Oh,
Does
yeah.
not
I mean,
remind me of that at all.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jeremiah's the authority on Power Rangers.
No,
It's
I'm
true,
not.
but it just reminded me of it.
Yeah, I just realized that
Shit.
their blades bound, her and Morgan, and then they rolled. They both did a side roll into that was sick. But yeah, this fight's really cool.
So Sabine then comes, like, she's not alone or whatever she says, and then they start fighting the troopers together and fighting Morgan one-on-one with Ahsoka, and then Ahsoka like pushes her sword down into the ground, grabs it, and then cuts her with both blades, which I
Both.
thought was
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, it's so
great.
cool, dude.
And it's still the thing that I hate the most in sword fighting is like an instant kill across the gut. Like it makes no sense to me in every instance.
Yeah, well, it
And
doesn't make sense to Qui-Gon either in those YouTube videos, let me tell you.
that was right through the middle, right through the spine. You can't heal it that fast. If it's a side shot like Sabine, you can heal that.
Okay,
It makes more sense.
sure.
Sabine is so good, dude. Her
Yeah.
fighting is so good.
Yeah, she gets better.
Because she's now using the Force.
Mhm.
Yes.
So there was a couple of scenes in this final part where she was fighting. I was like, these troopers are kind of just standing there, and she's just
Yeah.
kind of like walking up to each one.
Yeah.
But
Kind of how
it was so
the villains
fun.
are.
And
They're
so,
zombies. They can
Right,
only move
yeah.
so fast.
And so they're trying to fight off the remaining troopers. And Ahsoka's like, "You want to get out of here?" And Sabine's like, "Yeah." And so they just start running. They jump off the ledge, and
We missed something. We missed the moment when Hu Yang basically tells them to leave him if they have to, and it's really heartbreaking.
oh yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I know, but in a galaxy far, far away. But it made me emotional. Did it make you emotional?
No.
Okay, great. All right, so moving on.
So they jump off. Hu Yang catches them. They rise up, and they get back on the ship. And right, all right. It means like, can we catch him? Can we catch him? Because the ship's already out of view. And
Yo, that Star Destroyer is booking it.
and so the Star Destroyer, Thrawn is like, all right, destroy the temple with the
Oh, look, we missed
with
the
the
part where
turbo lasers.
when
No, sorry, the
Night
Turbo Blasters.
the Night Sister was like, Morgan's dead. Like,
Yep,
she knew, and that was so cool.
yep. And so the temple is getting destroyed. The ship is racing towards the Star Destroyer because Hu Yang puts all power into the engines, and they're trying to catch up the
I
fastest.
want to know how the ship doesn't accidentally get shot by a turbo blaster.
The Force.
The Force, yeah, 2 Force sensitive people flying the ship.
No. While it's just hovering, waiting for them to drop down onto it.
Because he wasn't aiming for them. He was aiming for the temple.
And there's no visual of what they're shooting at. They just know where the location of the temple is, not where the location of the, because it's a cloud.
You don't think that the gunners have a screen to look at?
It's all computerized.
It's not, yeah, it's not gunners. Because that's how they shot at them earlier in in like a couple episodes ago when Ahsoka was by, like they were like, we found her location, and they just shot at it. Ahsoka in like in the asteroid field or whatever, the bone field. Like it's not. I don't think it's direct with people. I think it's
Because because Star
calculate.
Destroyers have gunners though. It just might be that they just don't have enough people. They just turned on the auto.
I think the ones on the top might be manned, but the ones on the bottom aren't. Maybe. So, but either way, there's no line of sight just because of the cloud cover, and so maybe that just disrupts any instruments.
Sure,
That
yeah.
you
And they
use
had to get out for the story.
That's true. Dodge all the turbo blasters.
And so they see the ship racing towards the Star Destroyer, and Thrawn says, "Open up a comm line or whatever," and just has this cool little speech against Ahsoka, like, you are a worthy opponent. You fought well, but I beat you because I know you, and I know you because I knew Anakin, and you used similar tactics. And leaving you here is a perfect place for a Ronin like you.
Yeah.
And he says, "Long live the Empire," and he
What an
jets out of there.
exit. What a freaking exit.
Yep.
It's a really good exit.
And so it was sad. I couldn't believe it. I thought they were going to somehow catch up and get into the
Latch
hangar
on.
bay or latch on or something. I did not expect them to get left behind. So that was a big shock for me. I don't know what you guys did. You expect them to escape by the end of this episode, or did you think that this was a possibility that they get left behind and Thrawn would leave?
I hadn't really even thought about it, quite frankly. So, yeah, I mean, there was a part of me that was like, maybe they'll get into the hangar bay, but then when he opened up the comm channel, I was like, "There's no way. They're not going to make it." Thrawn wouldn't do that if he knew that there was a chance that they would make it.
The only thing that I thought, like, I was like thinking in that moment, all of a sudden the whales might show up and then they
Like,
might
again.
just go get sucked in the mouth and just go with them. Because it's like, that's how they got there. That's how Ezra and Thrawn got there. That's how Ahsoka got there. Like, that's how they're gonna get home. Well, I mean, that probably isn't now how they're gonna get home, but that's how I thought they were gonna get home.
I don't
Nah.
think that there's gonna be whales because they go there to die.
Yeah.
They don't just live there.
Well,
And I don't think they're gonna go back anytime soon.
Sister, or not that, with like the father statue and Balin and all that stuff. Like, definitely, I think they're gonna. And now that Sabine knows the Force, they're probably gonna get there between the world between worlds. That's my guess.
All right, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So yeah. So they go land, they go back to the surface, and they go meet up with the Noti again, the little village. And
This is about the point in the story where Micaiah and I started going, where are Shin and Balin?
I totally forgot about
Yeah,
them.
well, it was you do forget, and then everything started dying down, and it was right about the time where they go to the village. They're
Right.
returning to the village, where I was
Same with
like,
me.
wait a second, they're doing
Yeah.
stuff.
In my reaction video, like they walk up over the ledge, see the city, the little town, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, where's Balin? I yelled it out.
Yeah.
And at this point, I even forgot about Shin. I didn't even remember Shin when I yelled out Balin.
Yeah.
And so then they see the little village. You hear a little chirpity chirp. And
I'm sorry, a what?
A chirpity chirp.
I'm just picturing a meme now of Morai opening its mouth, and someone puts in a chirpity chirp every time it opens. Its
Someone
mouth.
in Discord make a meme and put it in.
Come on.
In Dank Ferric memes.
Doesn't Ahsoka have her lightsaber now? Both of them.
I think at this point, yeah.
And
I'll have to
so
check.
Yeah, you can see it under her.
Ahsoka looks over and sees an owl, and that is Morai. And so that's really cool. I was like surprised. What does that mean? You don't remember Morai?
I do, but like
This is the part where all of the pointing I was just doing this.
Right. So
Drew, to answer your question, Morai is there pretty much like anytime something big happens in Ahsoka's life.
it's like the
So,
worst
like-
pet of all time.
Huh?
She's the worst pet of all time.
No, because she's literally the reason why Ezra saves Ahsoka. She leads Ezra to Ahsoka in the World Between Worlds.
That's true. Okay.
So I would say this is a signifier that Ahsoka is on the right path and that she's going to find help.
And I think that that's one of the reasons why her seeing Morai was the reason why she was just super chill. She was like, "All right, let's just ride the vibe, Sabine. Like we gotta let go, you know." So
Right. So that was really cool. After Morai, it jumps to Shin, and she goes and finds the bandits, and she turns her saber on, like, "Hey, I'm over here," and all the bandits turn and look. So I guess she's gonna join the bandits. Cool. And then
it was a very Akira Kurosawa scene of her. Also very Lord of the Rings. Those are the vibes that I got. That was the whatever location they used for this. I'm assuming it wasn't all volume.
right
It
there's
was really
they had behind the
was really-
scenes from like episode 5, and there
Yeah.
were scenes that they filmed that were not in
The
the
volume.
volume.
yeah. This is a really beautiful
It
location.
literally felt like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I always thought it looked like Eldani from Andor.
Indoor.
Andor.
Yeah. It does look a little bit like Aldani.
Well, no, I'm saying the statues. Like that's
Oh, well, yeah.
giant.
We're just not
crap.
quite there yet. But yeah,
So, yeah.
that was a really cool shot.
Well, now we're there because right after Shin stuff, it's Balin. He's
Yeah.
walking on this ledge and he sees a mountain all in the distance with a blinking,
Yeah.
flickering light.
Sauron.
And I was like, "What the heck is that?"
It's Mordor.
And then it turns
For real.
to him.
Did you catch it the first time?
What?
What the statue was?
Yes.
So I literally, and Makaya can back me up on this in the chat. I literally went, "Oh, that was the father," and I just scrambled for the remote and rewound it, and then paused it on.
Why do you, I could never do that? Like
Well, you're doing a reaction.
rewind, even. But I've never done that before.
Dude, I do that in all of my reaction videos on YouTube. Pause and rewind.
I watched one of your reaction videos once. I'm like, why don't you just watch it through once and then go back?
That's why I do.
Because I get excited.
I was like, I feel like that ruins the moment, like the momentum and the emotion of the scene when you just stop it. So I could.
It doesn't for me.
I was gonna
but-
say, his viewership would tell us otherwise, Jeremiah.
Well, he has a larger demographic than we do, so
That is true. Anyways,
so
yeah.
the camera
Leonardo
views
DiCaprio.
looks at the father's view. I'm like, wait. I'm like, who's that guy? Wait, is that the father? And then it goes the wide shot. I'm like, wait, that's the father. That's the son. And that's daughter with missing her head.
Yeah, she's not there.
And I'm like, what does this
Which
mean?
is interesting because it implies that she still lives on. It could imply because she's not there.
Oh, I
It could imply that she's still active.
literally never saw the sun until now.
How do
Yeah,
what do you
Yellow
mean?
Snow literally said the same thing. It's because she's not dead.
So
Yeah, I
her
do
being the statue not having a head means she's alive.
Well,
What is- I
it's
don't know
no,
what
no,
that
no. It's
means.
not. It's not literal, but figuratively, the son and the father are both dead, as far as we know now. But her head not being there can imply that she's still active in the galaxy through Morai and through Ahsoka. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Okay, well,
because
that's fine.
being beheaded only means death. Like
No, it's not. It's not.
I'm
the
not
fact-
saying literal death. I'm saying like it's symbolic
this-
that she's no longer in play. Like I'm reading it
See,
the
I
opposite.
say it's
as you.
opposite. I say that because they're immortalized in statues, their being there signifies that they are no longer in
Like
play.
a tombstone. Those are
Yeah.
the tombstone. They didn't finish her tombstone yet because she's not dead yet.
Oh, I would have never in a million years thought of something like that. Like
It's just, I mean, I'm reaching at
I-
straws, but
I read it as the light side is dead in a sense, and that there's an imbalance to the dark side right now,
which is interesting because
which is literally what
she literally lives on through Morai and through Ahsoka.
yes and no. Like we don't have a full explanation of what it means exactly, but like I don't know. I just think that because the head was removed, that she's no longer in play, and that there's a leaning to the dark side, which makes sense because Thrawn would be the dark side, the Empire, the dark side, that
Balin,
imbalance,
potentially.
and so I don't know.
There's a lot of interpretation in the show
So
in general.
So today I went back and I watched the Mortis arc, the 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And there is so much in those 3 episodes that parallel things in this show that I can't believe no one realized leading up to this episode. So I went back and I watched it, and
Canon with Jeremiah.
yes. So it's Ahsoka, Anakin, and Obi-Wan get teleported to this place. They don't know where they're at. And one of the first things Obi-Wan says, like when he's looking at the instruments and computer and stuff, he's like, I can't even figure out where we are in this galaxy or if we're even in our galaxy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, so there it is. We're already talking about galaxy talk. There's a scene when Anakin goes off with the sister and she says something along the lines of talking about the beginning. And what is Balin searching for? The beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, crazy. And then the arena scene when Anakin has to control the daughter and the son and make them bow to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like all like the writings that glow up and stuff are the same that we see in this show, like in the especially in the credits, like that style of like those yellow lines and like the creatures and the figures, same exact style, same color, same type of like creatures drawn in the yellow gold lines.
Yeah.
Like what the heck? Like this is literally the same thing. And then you go like the temple that the father, son, and daughter live in has a glowing orb on the top, just like the orb all the way in the distance. That
is it pulsing?
There's multiple. So later on, there's different pulsing. Later on,
Okay.
I'll get to.
Sure.
Okay, this is crazy. And so then, I think it was like the next episode. There's like tall, thin pillars going into the air.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that reminds me of the tall pillars that they saw when they first got to Peridia, when it's like statues of like, looks like Night Sisters or something, like on top. So it's like, it's similar where there's these tall, thin pillars going into the sky, even though they're a little different. And then there's the glowing thing that comes up is when the sister dies and is buried in like the grave where the graveyards are, like they're kind of like tombs.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of the tombs, there's glowing lights, orb things on top of the tombs.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, well, those are glowing and flickering just like that light that Balin is seeing off in the distance. Like, I'm assuming that these are, so the father, son, and daughter are called the ones they're referred to. And I think those are other ones that have died and have just been buried there. So this might also be like a tomb of some sort for ones that were on this planet.
Yeah.
And like, and
so it's interesting as a segue here. So, you know, the fan favorite pick for who is calling to Balin is everyone saying Abeloth. And I think a lot of people really want Abeloth. The thing about Abeloth is a celestial, one of the celestials that help form the galaxy. And it would not be a stretch to say that the ones could also be celestials. They're just not called that in canon. The other thing, too, I think this is a very interesting theory, is that Abeloth is actually the mother. But the reason she's not present
in Clone Wars is because of her fall to chaos into the dark side, and they had to basically seal her away. So you could potentially fit her in to the narrative of the three as this banished fourth thing. Do I think that they're going to bring Abeloth into canon? Probably not. I think, honestly, I think we would get the Grisks before we got Abeloth. I wouldn't completely rule it out because Dave has already brought in so many things from the expanded universe. But I would say that what Balin is looking for is the same type of thing, a dark side, a very, very powerful dark side spirit entity thing that is calling to him to help release it into the galaxy. It's really interesting though, because you have the bookend of the sequel trilogy, right? Like, in some ways, all of this has to be done before The Force Awakens. And you can argue, why would whatever it is not call out to Palpatine? Well, Palpatine's not in a really great position to, like, there's a really good chance that Palpatine is probably aware of it, but like he can't get there, like, I'm sure he's very limited in his, spirit form or whatever, if he's in between bodies or whatever. So, like, I think it's calling to Balin because Balin is like the next the next best option. But the other thing too is that it has to be something that the Night Sisters are afraid of, that they're trying to get away from.
Right. So I was thinking, do you think that, the father, son, daughter, whatever this entity is that's out there, do you think they're the ones that put the Night Sisters to sleep? Because, like, how did they were freed from their sleep. That's what Thrawn did. That's why. So, like, someone put them in their sleep against their will.
It's just NyQuil. Right. Lots of NyQuil. And they just fall asleep.
Could be.
No, but I mean, it's really hard to tell because, like, Night Sisters were a thing in the Clone Wars era, and the three didn't interject themselves into what they were doing on Dathomir. If that were the case, it had to have meant that whatever the Great Mothers were doing on Peridea was enough of a threat for them to be like, "Ooh, we got to step in. We got to do something."
Well, because I think all that cargo that Thrawn brought on the ship was now, I think it's Night Sisters corpses.
Yeah.
So, like, if there, and Balin said it was the Witch Kingdom, so that means there was a lot of them, and there had been, I don't know how many of those coffins that he had, but there was thousands of them.
Yeah, I think it was like 10,000.
So, like, isn't 10,000 a legion? What a legion is considered? Yeah. 10,000 bodies. So, like,
it raises. I mean, and I know this is exactly what Dave wants, but I mean, it raises far too many questions. The presence of the statues, the statues pointing towards this thing. The question of how is Balin going to get there on foot? That's a really far way to walk.
He already killed his dog.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, that's a long walk. There's going
to be a giant eagle that he's going to jump on. It's that's the only Lord of the Rings reference I could make ever in my life.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I mean, so there's so many questions, man. There's so many questions. Like, obviously, it's a given that this place has a lot of significance in the Force,
right? And somehow this is how Ahsoka and them are going to get back to our galaxy, is somehow through whatever temples and crazy stuff is going on here.
Yeah, it's obviously they're going to use
some world between world magic. Here's the interesting thing. Here's what I want to know. If Balin, okay, so there's a few different layers to this, but so the first layer is, okay, why didn't Ezra sense whatever it is? And then I guess the next question would be, did it only reveal itself to Balin? And then the question after that, the next layer is it so powerful that it can completely conceal itself from everyone else except for the one person that it wants to call?
I think that's the case.
Yes.
See,
Do you
I
not
think
like
it has
that?
to be that because
Or-
it's so
no, I love it.
Oh.
It's fascinating. Like, dude, I love deep
it
dives
has
into
to
the
be
Force
that
stuff.
because Ahsoka didn't feel it either until she saw the owl.
Well, Ahsoka didn't feel that though.
Yeah,
She felt the owl.
Yeah.
Everyone has been oblivious to this except for Balin, which is insane. I mean, on one hand, there's a part of me that's like, maybe it's just the brother. Or the son, excuse me. Maybe it's just the son.
Could be. Well, someone mentioned that it could be similar to like the movie Shang-Chi, where that evil thing behind that wall was calling specifically to that one guy.
Yeah.
He's the only one that heard its voice.
Yep.
And like, free me, because then I'll give you this. So it could be something similar where it's promising Balin to go to the beginning to stop the cycle, and it says release. He releases it, and then it's not what he was promised.
So it's interesting. Jerica made a really good point in the chat earlier, where she said something about doesn't Abeloth like get out like once every certain many thousands of years, and I don't know if that was the case, but she did say it would, and this would be very interesting. The Father, the Son, and the daughter are the ones that reseal her or reseal whatever this is, and because they're gone now, this is the time that it can be released or get out of its prison unhindered.
Right.
And so I really hope it's something new. I hope it's not the son. I hope it's something we haven't seen that is an incredibly strong force entity.
They're all three are dead.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think it could be the son.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with it being the son. For one, it means Sam Witwer would be cast as him, which would be cool. Give me Sam Witwer as the son in live action. That'd be super cool.
Yeah.
But I think it's. I agree. Like when it comes to Star Wars, like George Lucas has said, it's like you always have to bring something new. Like if you do the same thing again, people aren't going to like it. So like, even though the brother would be redone, there's so little time with him. Like I would still want to see more of him, just because there's so little of him. And I think it would be cool for casual fans to be introduced to him in a live action show.
So here's another question. So obviously, Ahsoka's not really a part of the galaxy during the sequels, right? Luke's off on his own. She's not a part of his early temple. She's not really there. What if
she's here the whole time?
This is a divergence, and there are now two stories. You have the main galaxy story where Ezra and Hera and all of them have to beat Thrawn, and now Ahsoka and Sabine's soul story now revolves around preventing whatever that force entity is from escaping and wreaking havoc. And the four central characters are her, Sabine, Shin, and Balin. Like, what if we have now reached a divergence in the Force?
Do you mean that those stories are never going to come back to each other again? Or
well, see, my question is, like, again, we have this bookend of the sequels, and so you have to explain. You have to have a way to explain away the characters that are not in those events. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
yeah, but I also think that it's a giant galaxy, and you don't have to have every person you've ever seen in the main event. So,
but they're all drawn to fighting for good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, but
we also didn't get Ahsoka in 4, 5, and 6.
Well, and people have explained that away by saying she was wandering the world between worlds and doing stuff. But
was she though?
We don't know anything.
We don't know.
But it's like I don't have a problem with someone not being involved in, because that episode, first of all, the episode 7 and 8 took place over the span of like 4 days. So like
Yeah, it's true.
you
That's
can't
true.
get everyone in the galaxy to rally behind a single event where it all played out in a couple of days with no warning.
That's true.
Also, episode 9, like
Ahsoka was there.
she did project her voice to Rey.
Yeah.
But so we don't know what that means.
So my question is yeah. Anyways.
So Dave Filoni was asked, does that mean that Ahsoka is dead? And he's like, not necessarily. So he just said that,
yeah.
so he can do whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that I don't have a problem with her being absent from other movies and stuff, or time events in the timeline. But it's interesting that you bring it up about a divergent thing where like maybe those characters now are completely done with whatever happens in the main galaxy. Like that would be interesting. Where then you could just start a whole new branch of storytelling that wouldn't contradict anything.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
Well,
like I'm actually kind of, I wouldn't be against that, but I also
show me some really sweet like unseen stuff with the Force. Like go deeper into that lore. I mean, it could be smart because they're going into this Origin of the Jedi movie. It could be a way to tie the two properties together, depending on the lore. But then again, you know, we know that this is all culminating into this movie, into a cinematic release of some sort in theaters. And so my question is, are they really going to leave Ahsoka and Sabine out of this? Probably not. So then do they come back and maybe instead of uniting with Thrawn to fight the Grisks, maybe they're uniting with Thrawn to fight whatever this new thing is? I don't know. And then at some point we're going to get another season of Mando, or you know, 2.
It's supposed to come before that.
Yeah, and so it's like, I mean, there's a lot of storytelling that has to happen, but
that's why I don't. That's the hard part for me. I'm not getting into this. There was like an hour debate last week.
It was only like 45 minutes.
That was a long time.
Y'all really went for 45 minutes on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dang.
Yeah. It was a long time. But this is a lot that has to happen before this movie comes out.
Yeah.
A lot.
I mean, but to be fair,
Kind of.
we're getting the Rey movie.
It's supposed to come out the same year as this movie.
Well, we don't know the orders of the 3 movies that were announced. We just know that.
I'm willing to
before
bet
the writer's strike, they announced 2 or 2026, but that's all up in the air now. Like they could, like you can produce a movie in 2 years. Like it's not a problem, but everything's delayed. So
yeah.
I just don't know what they're gonna do. Like you said, like what do they do with the stories? Like clearly, whatever Balin was after is something that they weren't just gonna forget about. Like it's integral to moving forward in the story. And you know, R.I.P. Ray Stevenson.
Yeah,
like that's like the worst thing that could happen. And
they'll find the right person.
I sent you that picture.
Yeah. Yes.
Leave Stryber.
Yep. He could do it,
dude.
There were a few others. Because I googled
it too. Someone said like Russell Crowe.
No, I'm not feeling that one. There were a few other people that I saw that looked really convincing.
Someone said Gerard Butler. I don't like that.
I think he's a little too big of a star for this.
I think Liev Schreiber, he has a similar facial structure. He's a big guy.
Yep.
That, you know, he just has to work out for 6 months and he's going to be
the thing is it's
jacked.
Like those actors are maybe too big for a show, but not for a movie.
Or 3.
I'm leaning more than 3 than 1.
I don't really, I'm not into the whole like this actor can't do a TV show type thing. Like I don't.
Yeah, I mean, all I do know is that they are for sure going to recast him. They have to.
That's what we said someone said in the chat. The walk is so far that he just never gets there, and then they don't have to catch him.
Oh gosh, he has a heart attack halfway there.
Dude,
Doesn't make it there.
I don't want another unfinished story like the Grisks. Okay, just at least.
I'm still hopeful about the Grist.
I just
No,
don't
I am too.
understand how.
I want the Grisks, but now that this Force thing is here, like you and I both agreed that there was going to be something bigger than Thrawn as the threat,
Right.
and now I think we have it. Unless Balin gets all the way there, and it is a dark side wielding Grisk. It's Jixtus, who, by the way, was a Sith Lord the whole time.
Under the as an apprentice to Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah, right. Who himself was an apprentice to Cheery,
Perfect.
who turned to the dark side after she left the Skywalker program.
Yep.
And if you were listening, you have no idea what we're talking about.
Go read the six
Thrawn novels.
The 6 Thrawn novels.
Which, by the way, I wanted to say this about that. I think so. The reason that Thrawn, and I figured it out, the reason that why Thrawn feels so weird to me is because he has to be the bad guy. He is bound by the story to be the antagonist. And not only that, he is bound by the story to lose to a certain extent.
Right.
Which is very different from the novels where he is the protagonist. He's not evil. He's, like even in the Imperial era Thrawn books, like, does he do some
a bad guy in this though? He's bad because he's a protagonist, but he just wants to get home.
No. But here's the thing: he's always seemed a little bit more on the evil side in Rebels and in this show. But that's because he has to play the role of the antagonist, because there are other protagonists that have to win. And I think because this entire episode, I was thinking, like, dude, what Thrawn? There's no way Thrawn would plan something this poorly. Like, I know that the Jedi are unpredictable, and they are supposed to, and they are supposed to be, his like Achilles heel in a way. But like he should have planned this whole thing a lot better than he did. Like, he should have had a much better plan. But I'm realizing now, because like the Thrawn from the books is so much more proficient tactically than I feel like he is in the visual media. But that's because in the books he wins. He has to win for the most part.
But he's also has more resources and is able to be ahead because he can plan ahead. Where this is kind of like in the moment, Morgan shows up.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but I still feel like he would have planned for uncertainties.
He did. They had 3 days. He's like, that is like a good time. Like,
he's never been able to plan for Ahsoka. That threw him off.
All I'm saying is,
because the Night Sisters couldn't even read that Ahsoka was there.
All I'm saying is in the Ascendancy books and in the Imperial era books, it feels like a very different character to me personally. And I think for me, the reason is because in one, he is bound by the story to not perform the way that he does in another. Because if he did, the heroes would either not win or there would be far more casualties.
I think he's the same just because, like, in the books, he's portrayed as the good guy.
Yeah.
And so he's, like, even during the Imperial one, when, like, he's portrayed as a good guy, like the Empire, like, on his ship, they're not seen as, like, evil. Like, that's what we talked about that in our review. Like,
yeah.
So, but, like, at the end of the day, he says everything that he does is to protect the Chiss ascendancy.
Sure.
And he is not afraid to kill innocent people to protect the Chiss. So, like, he's willing to kill anyone.
It's really interesting because, like, I feel like he has a much higher value on life in the books than he does in the show.
Only if he can use them to his advantage. If he thinks that they can be he says that in the Ascendancy trilogy, like,
he sacrificed Morgan.
Well, no. He does say he sees people as assets, but like you see how he reacts with Thalius and Chiri and all, like Thras, like I don't know. There's this like weirdly human side to him in the books, not in the expanded universe. In the expanded universe, that very much, literally, like Outbound Flight and the Thrawn trilogy, expanded universe trilogy, feels a lot like this Thrawn that we have in visual media. Feels very much like him. But there's something about the books to me that has just felt very different. And maybe I'm weird. Maybe I'm the odd one out. And if that's the case, that's
No,
fine.
I see what you're saying. Like the way he treats like his allies in the ascendancy is different the way he treats imperial soldiers and stuff. But like at the end of the day, he's protecting the Chiss, and like he loves his people, the Chiss, and he cares about their well-being because that's his.
Yeah,
He's a protector. He has to protect
sure,
the Chiss
sure.
ascendancy. Whereas when
But
he's working for the Empire in the Empire, like the only reason that people like on the Chimera love him and are devoted to him is because he's able to manipulate them, so that they serve him, so that he can get what he wants.
I don't think it's manipulation though. I think
But it is, because
it's a respect and admiration thing.
Right, but he only does that so that he can use them to protect the ascendancy. He said everything he does.
So you mean to tell me that him putting in Commodore Pharaoh and like putting her in for promotion and all that stuff, like there are some genuinely nice things that he does for his officers in those books. You think that's all manipulation?
I think he's doing that because using that, she's an asset that he could call upon in the future.
Okay.
The only reason he put all the effort into Eli Vanto is because his ability to analyze patterns is something that he needs in the Chiss ascendancy. He saw him at a very early age. He taught him. He encouraged him. He got Eli Vanto to become good at what he does, so that he could send them to work with Arlani.
I still think that there is a more personal side of him
when it comes to his people.
No, but like it legit felt like it read like he had a relationship, a very weird one. But
you're falling for his manipulation too. He's doing to you what he's doing to everybody else. He's making them think that he actually cares about you. He only cares about the Chiss. Anything he cares about you is because he's like, oh, you can help me do this so I can protect my people. You're falling for you're under his manipulation too, Andrew.
I'd really love to hear Timothy Zahn's take on it too.
Well, we're gonna meet him in a month maybe, so when he's here at Twin Cities Con, we might go see him. So
well, you should ask him.
Well, if he had a panel like last time, we're definitely gonna ask him.
Yeah.
I just think that ever since at the third Ascendancy book, when he says that he's willing to kill everybody on the Magus' planet if it meant to save his people, that's when I considered Thrawn evil. Because he's willing to kill innocent people and commit genocide against innocent people to protect the Chiss, and I think that's very evil. And so,
okay,
Thrawn is not a good guy. He's likable. He's pretty cool. I like him, but he's evil.
All right.
So, how would you rank the first season of Ahsoka before
we didn't talk about the last scene?
Oh crap! Oh, we got another like half hour to talk about that too. So it's nighttime at the Noti village. Ahsoka's looking out at the stars.
Yep.
Sabine comes up to them. They talk, and Ahsoka's like, she's like, you did well, or something like that. You did well. Blah blah blah. Sabine looks out, feels like she sees something, senses something. She's like, maybe it was nothing. I don't know.
Yep.
And Ahsoka was like, okay. And Ahsoka turns and looks. I didn't catch it the first time, but she stares at something, smiles, and has a slight like head nod, like, I see you. and it turns away, and it pans back, pulls back, and it's Anakin's Force Ghost.
Yeah.
So Sabine was able to sense Anakin's presence, but couldn't see him.
Yep.
Ahsoka, when she looked, saw him,
Yep.
smirked, like, smiled or nodded, whatever she did, and then Anakin stood there and smiled, or kind of like had a little like small little happiness. It looks like he's like content with his apprentice. She's finally
Yeah.
made it, and that's it.
Beautiful moment.
Different music going into the credits and this whole ending thing. A different music. I thought was great.
Yeah, they were definitely harping on Ahsoka's motif there at the end, but it was slightly different.
Didn't we forget about that Ezra and Hera thing?
Oh yeah. Ezra, he steals a ship. Balin's ship goes to the New Republic.
What? There's no way he gets off the ship. There's no way he gets off the ship with that shuttle without Thrawn noticing and shooting him out of the sky.
I think what his best option was right when it dropped out of hyperspace, he was already ready to jump out.
Yeah.
And that was how he was able to do it, because Thrawn was going to, at that moment, he was going to be distracted to like check, make sure everything's good to go.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
So I love that Chopper saw through the armor and was able to, Chopper's Force sensitive. That's how he knew.
Some people were saying he should have like shocked him because he didn't recognize him, like shocked Ezra.
No, but he did because he's Force sensitive.
No, shock him, like electrocute him.
No, but he didn't, because he was happy to see his friend because he's Force sensitive.
He knows that
he found inner peace.
I know. I'm saying people thought it would have been funny if he didn't sense him, and then shocked him because he was a stormtrooper and he hasn't done that in a long time. He hasn't got. It's been tension for the past 10 years or whatever, 5 years, 7 years since the war ended. But like, I thought it was great. Took off his helmet. Yeah.
Beautiful reunion. And then the final shot, well, I guess not the final shot, but we have this beautiful shot of the Star Destroyer coming up on Dathomir.
Oh, yeah.
And then Thrawn's looking out over the cargo.
Yeah.
Lots of open-ended questions here.
And that's why one of the reasons why I like this episode so much is because it gave so much potential story.
Yep.
We're still guessing, just like other finales, but it's like now we have something to be excited for, in my opinion.
Yep.
Moving forward.
For sure.
All right, how would you guys rank season 1 of Ahsoka out of 10? How many Noti out of 10 would you rank this?
9.5.
Oh, dang.
I liked it a lot.
I was thinking 8.75.
That point.
It's like 8's too low. 9 is just too high for me. Yeah, 8.75.
Man, it's hard for me because like I felt at some points like there was some low parts, but then like when it was good, it was like
really good,
really, really good.
Yeah,
but it's definitely in the 8.5 to 9 range, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
like I'm happy with what we got. Now I'm just thinking about going back to when we did that first trailer breakdown and how we are completely wrong about every single thing we said. I think this is so funny to me that we spent all that time, and
that's how it works, dude.
Nothing right.
It's part of the cycle. It's a circle of life.
Have we ever got any of our trailer reactions right?
No.
The only thing we got right was that we knew that Ahsoka was gonna ride a whale over there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That was literally it. Who would have guessed that Sabine was Force sensitive?
Not me.
Not me.
Not anybody.
No one.
Cool. So definitely something. I hope we like maybe soon, before the end of the year, like we get like an announcement for like Mando season 4.
Yeah.
or just like
That's
something
why
that we're
It
just
was
told.
so sad that we didn't get any announcement at all. Like there was no like at the
No
end of
post
the.
credit scene. I thought we were
Yeah,
gonna
I
get
was so mad.
Oh, I was scrubbing hard,
dude. I
man.
thought we were gonna get just like a Grisk like stand up, like
Yeah.
Thanos at the end of
That's
the first
that was the
Avengers.
thing that kind of was like disappointing for me. It was that there's nothing at the end of the trailer. We only got that once. No, we got that twice. We got that for the Book of Boba, and then we got that at the end of Book of Boba.
What do we have at the end of Book of Boba?
Oh,
Cobb
Cobb
Vanth in the
yeah.
back. No, that's the next thing. It's gonna be a Cobb Vanth spin-off series. He's
It'd be
gonna
better than Book of Boba.
I don't know about that.
he's gonna find a Grisk, and that's how they're gonna.
You and the
Maybe.
Grisk. We're not getting Grisk, guys.
So last week when we had a debate about the movies, we kind of tentatively made a bet. Like, if I am right that there's only one movie, Drew has to buy me the Jedi Star Cruiser Lego
We didn't
set.
shake on anything.
I said tentative, and then if he gets 3 movies, I buy him the Tatooine Lego set.
Aren't they different prices?
Yes.
Yeah, mine's cheaper by like
Yeah.
$300.
But he's so confident that there's going to be 3 movies that it's not a risk for him.
I'm still confident, but I don't want to make that bet. That's the most bet I've ever made in my life.
All right.
All right.
I mean, I'm not getting in on that, but
you want to go with
y'all have fun.
I go with 1, he goes with 3. You could go with 2. What do you want?
No, there's no way they're doing 2.
It's
2 doesn't make sense.
crack
2 literally does not make sense. It's got to be 1 or 3.
1 to 3. But what do you lean towards more?
It's too early to say.
Is it?
Based on the evidence of what we have.
I mean, based on what we've
was
been
announced.
told, it's just 1.
Perfect.
movie.
That's all I need to hear.
Yeah,
Voice
I mean,
time. Let's transition over.
It's voicemail time.
beautiful.
All right, cool. So we have 6 voicemails tonight.
Yo, it's a party.
So we gotta go
Should have
quick.
refreshed your camera, Jeremiah, before we started voicemail.
No, it's not gonna go off. If it was gonna shut off, it would have done it by now.
Oh yeah, it would have been gone by now.
First one up from our good friend Elias. So let's take.
Hey.
Oh, Elias.
Hello, Empire Radio. This is Elias with another voicemail. And I just have a simple question. Which car do you have? Just the car? No fancy gadgets or gizmos that usually come with them in movies and stuff. But would you rather have Michael Keaton's Batmobile or the car from Back to the Future? I forgot the name, but
Oh, the DeLorean.
which one would you have, like, just as a car? I would have the car from Back to the Future.
DeLorean.
Anyway, bye.
All right, cool. Thank you, Elias.
I thought we were being asked like if we could just have a car,
At first, yeah.
and I was really excited because I know what mine is.
Well, someone has to ask that another time. You can't answer it now.
But-
So if you want to know, you gotta wait till next time.
So Michael Keaton. Hold on.
I don't even-
Michael.
What is this Batmobile? Is that just the normal Batmobile?
there's no such thing as a normal one. Everyone's different.
No, I'm saying it's not like
Michael Keaton. Oh yeah, that's the really curvy one.
yeah.
The really curvy. Dude, DeLoreans are so cool.
But they are a real
Freaking-
car and they suck.
So you
Okay,
can.
okay, dude. The turn radius on a Batmobile.
I'm just
Is like-
saying the DeLorean is a real vehicle and it's a lemon.
Yeah, but you can at least drive a DeLorean. You can't, dude. He literally has to have something to help him turn in the Batmobile. Take that on freaking 35W, you're done. You just have to go straight.
So I don't know if it's true anymore, but because the DeLorean was a dud for people to actually like practically buy and use.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true anymore, but you could actually buy them in a box, but you have to put them together yourself, like super cheap. So
Back in the day.
Huh.
So if you want, I think it's like you can buy a DeLorean mint condition
Andrew, look that up.
in different part, like all boxed up for like 10 grand. So you just have to pay someone
What?
to like,
Like for real?
Yeah.
IKEA? Question mark.
so like you'd have to hire someone to actually put it together, which is probably $20,000 to pay someone to put together. But like you
Well,
can get
dude, there's a coffee shop in Chicago that has a DeLorean like in their in the rafters of the coffee shop. Is so cool.
I don't know if I can. They have the DeLorean Motor Company's website is still up.
Merg.
Cars for sale.
the copyright like 1994 or something.
Yo,
like
dude,
that.
you can literally buy them right now.
Yeah, how much are they?
The
Did
link
they
in
say?
the chat.
They're all contact us for prices. Okay, so a 1981 DeLorean, there is one with a price, and it says $69,995, so just under 70,000.
So that's all put together, but
Yeah,
I don't know if they still have the box.
dude, they're so freaking cool though.
They're
Like,
cool looking. They're just not. I don't remember why they were so bad.
People are just probably complaining because you probably couldn't get to 88 miles per hour in them, and so like people said it was like this car sucks.
this is like the classic like 80s aesthetic. Too. I love it, DeLoreans, man.
So is that both your
Wait.
answers? Is the DeLorean?
So this is not the same car. I'm going through the pictures of this single car that they're selling, and one of them is definitely automatic, and one of them is manual. It's not the same
You
car.
gotta go
Anyway,
manual.
yeah, I need to learn how to drive one of those.
You don't know
but not LA. Not in LA. Anyways,
sure, that's not the best.
Jeremiah, what would you do?
The
I
DeLorean.
don't know. I don't know. I don't
I would
drive.
probably
I could see you in a Batmobile driving to and from work.
No.
Okay. Well,
The Turnus is like the bus that he takes to and from work.
no, dude. The Metro Transit buses have better turn radii than the Batmobile. There's a reason why that thing only goes straight in the movies.
I'd probably do a DeLorean just because.
Okay. Cool. All right. Thank you, Elias, for that question. Always a pleasure. Next up, we have 4 from Shadrick. So he's been sending them in on a regular basis for like past month. So let's hear some. So number 1, let's take a listen.
Hey guys, Shadrick. Calling back, whatever, with another voicemail. I'm a little nervous about this last. I haven't watched the last episode yet. It did drop last night. I'm on my way home. I'm excited to see it. I work nights, so literally when new episodes drop, I'm leaving for work. It kills me.
Ooh.
But I'm a little nervous because I did see the runtime was like 48 minutes, and I'm just like, I'm wondering how they're gonna wrap all this up in just 48 minutes.
They don't.
I have mixed feelings about it because this is like one of my favorite Star Wars media out there right now, and I'm feeling like it's going to go for like an Empire Strikes Back vibe, where a lot of things are going to be left on the edge, and hopefully we get a big old reunion with the crew like they kind of did in Empire Strikes Back at the end of that kind. I might send another voicemail, by the way. Bye.
All right, cool. Thank you. And when you said you might, you sent 3 more. So
hey yo,
let's listen to number 2.
Okay, so here's like I thought of another question for you guys. So basically, another reason why I love this series, it gave me the Star Wars feeling. The Star Wars feeling to me is like when you get that Star Wars moment where it makes you feel like a kid again, you know what I mean? You feel the flutters. And that was obviously episode 5. And I haven't felt anything like that since they revealed Luke and Mando season 2. Because, wow, that was something else. So I'm wondering, like, what's your guys' like favorite moments that made you tear up in the past and just Star Wars in general? Like, give me your guys' top 3 or something. I'd like to know. Like, for example, like the twin sun scene with Luke Skywalker is another tearjerker for me. But yeah.
Tatooine.
All right, cool.
Come on,
I was gonna say that's an episode in and of itself right there.
Tatooine.
Do we want to answer, or do we want to have that on the books for?
We should answer it.
The
Let's
last
just do the shows. How about can we just do the shows?
Sure.
As in the live action ones?
Okay. Luthen's Kino's monologue. Luthen's monologue. Both of those monologues are just
They made you
They're
cry. They actually
fantastic.
made you cry.
They didn't make me cry, but like, it's difficult to make me cry. Like Last of Us episode 3 made me cry.
Ooh,
Very much made me cry towards the end.
Should have been on a
And
breakdown.
huh?
You should have been on a breakdown.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that one got me in the feels. But definitely the ones that have made me feel something emotionally. The 2 monologues, freaking fantastic. Luke showing up was another one that was really just impactful for me. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think about like all of the shows. Obviously, Lizzo and Jack Black.
Oh
Oh,
gosh,
duh.
Drew, what are your choices?
It's like number 1 right there.
I know yours.
Okay, go then.
Yours is I Can't Swim.
Yep, that is my number 1. That scene, man, go watch my reaction. The watch party. I literally did cry in that. That was so sad.
Wait,
Anakin.
what are
I
you talking
can't
about?
swim in Andor.
When
When
Kino
they
can't
Oh,
swim.
escape
yes.
and everything, and he's like, I can't swim, and then he's
Yeah.
like, what?
And then we have
Yeah.
no idea
Can't
what his fate is.
Swim.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that was the worst thing ever. I was like, I can't. I literally cried in that. That was really good. I think Anakin for sure. Anakin was really good.
Yeah.
And then
In Ahsoka?
yeah, and Ahsoka, I thought it was really, really good. Luke was really good. There's a couple of other scenes that I did cry in though. I think
wish I cried
Anakin was the
more.
last thing I remember crying at. But I Can't Swim was definitely the worst. I watched it the other day just to like feel
Just for
He said,
fun.
just to feel something.
feel something, and it still hit hard. Dude. I
Your
was
sinuses
like,
are clogged. Like, man, I need to
I was
cry
like-
so I can clean out my sinuses.
yeah, I just
then.
got done with COVID. I was like, I
Yeah.
just need to flush everything out of my system right now. Oh, that's so good though.
So the one that I always get emotional watching in Rebels.
Oof.
Oh,
I thought we were just doing
I just
live
said
action.
Live action show.
Wait. I thought we were just doing
Wait,
live action
Ooh,
because
he said shows.
the scene
I
with
said live
Kanan.
action shows.
Oh, I didn't.
Because the
opens
scene with
so much
Kanan,
stuff.
dude.
Well, if we're not doing animated shows, then I can't give like half my answers. So
Well, yeah,
Oh, wow.
that's why I couldn't give half mine.
No, the scene with
Ahsoka
Kanan.
with
gosh.
the helmets and episode.
Oh yeah, that one too. And when she says, "I'm not going to leave you this time," in
Come on, I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of good ones in the animated shows.
So
Jeremiah.
if we're only doing live action,
only live action. When have you cried recently?
it would have been when in the Obi-Wan series when.
Oh, I
When-
forgot about that.
But this is the one that you're not gonna. It has nothing to do with Anakin. It's when Obi-Wan is talking to Leia.
Yes,
And
it's
these-
both of them.
These are the qualities you got from your mother. These are the qualities you got from your father.
That's literally
That
what
got me. I was ugly crying
That,
for that one.
That was bad.
Makaya was crying during that part.
That was one of them. That
I remember hearing her go, "Oh," and
Um,
I look over, she's like tearing up. But yeah, those 2 moments in Kenobi, I keep forgetting about stuff, and then you say, and I'm like, oh, I've got to rearrange my whole list again. But then my friend is truly dead, and then Leia.
that part too.
Yes, I'm gonna go back and rewatch Kenobi.
Oh, and then in the Book of Boba. No.
You mean when it started and we all just kind of
we saw
cried?
the Mandalorian episode.
Oh yeah.
That made me. That hit
I
me
did
in the
really
feels.
like Ahsoka saying, I'm a friend of the family." You know,
Mhm.
that was a cool moment.
That was cool.
When Grogu kept eating
Was that
the
it?
frog
Oh,
eggs.
Jeremiah?
I think that's the only TV series cry moment I've had that's live action.
I will say one thing that always gets me in the feels is when they use the Force theme. It could be someone like cleaning out a sink. and that song will elevate that moment.
Force cleaning.
Yeah.
There's too much cake down on the pan, and they got to use the
Andor.
force.
Yeah, you have to
scrub.
lift the rocks and then get underneath the rocks with the force.
All right.
Anyways.
Cool. All right,
we'll do a podcast episode and we'll do
We will.
all Star Wars.
All the saddest moments. Top 5
The
saddest moments.
Top 5 crying moments. And the meme, like the picture has to be all of us with like the fake tears coming down our face.
Because
God, the
we could
YouTube
watch those
clickbaity.
scenes like and film ourselves, and so then we could actually have the real tears.
I hate to tell you, it might not happen with me.
Oh, we'll have McKay pinch you really hard.
It might not happen with me.
Dang it.
I have a high tolerance for pain.
Weird flex, but okay.
All right, number 3 from number 3, right? We're on 3. 3 from Shadrick.
Okay. I swear this is my last voicemail. I'm getting them all out because this is the finale.
Bring them on.
And I love you guys. This is just great. But I'm hoping Andrew's going to be here for this finale because I was going to tell him something. Because I remember from my first voicemail, he told me that he loved Rini Kenshin. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it, but I heard they're coming out, or they did come out with a remake for that. So they're going to be dropping a remake if you ever want to check that out. And my girlfriend loves coffee, and I'm definitely wanting to try out your coffee. So please give me some good suggestions from the menu. Drew, you can drop some suggestions too. And Jeremiah, I know you hate coffee, so yeah. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are great. Keep doing your thing. Best Star Wars podcast out there.
Hey.
Ooh, I'll take
All right,
that.
cool. Andrew, any comments on the remake of whatever he said?
Yes. So thank you for bringing that up. I've been aware of it. I admittedly have not found a good way to watch it, but it's also because I've not really had the time to look into it. But I really want to watch it because I know the animation is supposedly a lot more dynamic.
Did you ever watch the live action One Piece?
I have not yet.
Bro.
I've heard it's good. I've heard it's really
so
good.
good, dude.
I've heard that's the one that everyone was like, it's gonna break the anime live adaptation curse. But like the Rurouni Kenshin movies, and I said this before on the podcast like 2 weeks ago, but the Rurouni Kenshin movies, those live action movies, phenomenal.
They're good.
Phenomenal adaptations.
But this is really good.
Yeah. But I will say, yeah, thank you for bringing that up. It actually reminded me that I need to go find that at some point and I need to watch that. But yeah. All right. Also, my recommendation, Yunnan. Any of the Yunnan coffees from Wesley Andrews. Go, Drew.
I handpicked those and I roast those, so I'll take that. Everything on the menu I have cupped and picked, and that's what I roast. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love getting those packages. Yeah, Makaya loves the Yunnan coffees. Like, we got done with the bags that you sent me for the hat. We got done with that, and we had this conversation about like, okay, do I walk down to the street to my coffee shop and get some onyx beans? And she's like, no, we need to. I'm gonna miss that coffee. I was like, yeah, you're right, and that's why I ordered more. So, it's really good.
Use our promo code.
Yep.
Empire Radio, capital E, capital R, and it works. It worked the second time, and because Drew fixed it. And I was gonna say, every time I open the packages, there's a part of me that hopes that I get like a little note or something.
I literally was gonna give you extra coffee, but then I was out with COVID, so I didn't package it. So
oh, bummer. Well, Drew normally does, so
I do.
All right. Any final recommendations of coffee? All right. Moving on. Number 4 from Shadrick.
Okay. I just had to leave my post thoughts, guys, about the episode. And wow. Boy, a lot happened in 48 minutes. This was one of the best finales I've seen in a while. I thought almost everything about it was perfect, to be honest. The heart to heart with Huang and Ezra, Ahsoka and Sabine, zombie stormtroopers, freaking Balin at the end, finding the gods. So much happening. Oh, the very end of the episode hit me like a train, man. Seeing Ahsoka standing there looking out in the distance. Rosario Dawson's acting in that scene just killed it. And man, once I seen Hayden Christensen, the tears started flowing. 10 out of 10 episode. Not disappointed at all. Holy crap. You guys have a good one.
All right.
All right,
Shad,
cool.
you too. You too.
Glad that you enjoyed it so much. I'm on the same team with you.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, we got
Kinda there.
one voicemail left from.
Is it from Will?
No,
Oh.
Lucy?
no,
Daddy Palps?
no,
Oh, okay, I give up.
Tanner?
no. From our favorite pod racer.
Oh.
Hey!
So it's because last week he won. He was celebrating like 3 wins or whatever, and he had like Twi'leks on each arm, and like he was like partying it up.
Yo, I need to go back and listen to that.
I added the Twi'leks thing, but he was partying
Oh,
it up
okay.
for his 3 wins. But he has a message for us, so let's take a listen.
Hey, Empire Radio. It's Garrett. I just won the pod racing championship, but I guess somebody didn't want me to. Had a whole bunch of goons with blasters after me. Oh, I think I should be in the clear for a bit. Maybe the Hutts had a bet on somebody. That wasn't me, obviously. And I wish I had my favorite blaster pistol, a DL-18, on me. Speaking of favorite blasters, what's your guys' favorite blaster? All right, I think I should... Oh, no, they found me!
All right, well, hopefully you're okay, Garrett.
Yo, dude, this is fantastic. I'm sensing the birth.
Part 2.
I'm sensing the birth of something new. Like High School
Well,
Musical is the start of something new.
you got to watch the VCU though. Like if you thought this is great,
This is literally the VCU.
you got to go watch the VCU, which is way
But
more.
we're not doing that again, you guys. Okay.
We're not illustrating, and this is way too much work.
Yeah,
Andrew, you gotta do the VCU. I think you gotta do that reaction video to it.
That's such a long reaction video.
Dude, it's so good, bro.
You could do
I'm
it.
sure it is.
Do it as a Christmas present to everyone. Have it for Christmas. We can post your reaction video on Christmas Day for everyone.
It only could be. You could do a 10-minute reaction video.
Yeah, if you want to edit it down, go ahead. But it'd be cool if you did a whole
I'm not
87-minute long.
You gonna edit it?
No,
Oh,
No.
Sweet.
it's your present to us. Like,
Oh, yeah. Okay, I
Remember
got
that
it.
lightsaber we gave you a couple years ago?
Oh my gosh! And I edited that video too. Anyways,
people really still want to see your reaction to the VCU.
I'll see what I can do.
If you could do it for Christmas present, that would be great. But yes, this is a fun story. The pod racer Garrett, but he has a question on our favorite blasters.
By the way, did you get what blaster that was?
The DL.
The DL-18?
Is that Han's blaster?
No. It's in Return of the Jedi. I'm pretty sure it's also the one Kanan has. With the backwards thing on the end of the barrel.
I don't know. When it comes to blasters, they're all the same.
Kanan. It's Kanan's blaster, but there's also one in Return of the Jedi.
Like
I don't know enough about blasters.
People have wanted us to do top 5 blasters, but it's like I don't know anything about blasters. There's blasters to me. Like
just learn, dude. Just Google
E11. There's my favorite. That's just
oh my god.
It's a I always use the E11 in Battlefront 1 and 2 just because it was a well balanced gun. It had good range, had good accuracy. Like it was a good overall thing. So that's my answer.
My favorite is one of 2 things. And they're both from the Clone Wars, the original cartoon Clone Wars. So there's a scene where Shakti and Ki-Adi-Mundi and Shaggy, the one that's literally modeled after Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Oh.
Huh? No, he looks like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. But anyways, the frick? Where did that even... My wife just... Satine's Lament.
That a crying scene? I don't know.
Is that a blaster?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, the Leia's gun with the long barrel.
That's called Satine's Lament.
It sure is, and
I didn't know that.
she went into the
I was
archives for
gonna
that
say,
one. That's
the
impressive.
cheapest cut
I had
ever.
no idea what that was. She probably Googled Leia's blaster because she loves Leia. Anyways,
Yeah.
that's very, very impressive. I might, but one of two things. So there's the moments where the ARC troopers get there. They're about to try to take down Grievous, and the ARC troopers fly in on the sick gunship with the shark mouth, and then these two BA ones get out. One has the
big minigun thing.
The big minigun thing that you hold upside
Yeah.
down that you see in Clone Wars. I love that one. But then there's one where he pulls over this thing and he has
Oh yeah.
big cannons.
The-
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
One of the two of those,
But
probably the machine
You
gun.
like
one.
Heavy Mando's gun?
Yeah. I like the circular like spinning barrels though.
The
Those look really
miniguns.
cool. Yeah, Jeremiah, yours is the turbo blaster, right?
Yep.
There we go. Drew,
Wait, what is yours? Wait, you already said yours, right, Jeremiah?
E11. I'll just go with that.
Mine is Mando's rifle.
Oh, the
one that he slaps the dinosaur with.
It shocks it,
but
then it has like a shock.
No, I'm talking.
and then-
I'm talking about the one in the Christmas special.
Oh, that's not
'Cause
the
it's-
same
it's-
one.
same thing.
It's the same.
It's
gun.
basically the same one.
Yeah.
Because he shocks that in the
He goes,
pilot.
"Come on," and just slaps the dinosaur. Yo, we have to watch that again for Christmas.
No, we
We
don't.
do.
It's
We'll
a
watch
yearly
it.
thing.
That's not a yearly thing. We've only done it once.
Jeremiah, you join us live for that and watch it.
No.
I'll do a full reaction to the VCU.
No, that's no.
Okay, fine.
Jeremiah, what a party pooper!
You're-
Offers off the table.
You
Come
didn't agree with
on.
it. You said maybe I'll think about it before. But
I literally just offered you a feature-length edit. That's like an 8-hour, 12-hour project for me.
Why? How is it that long? You record yourself, you lay them on top of each other, you export.
No. I
How
have
are
to-
you making it that hard? You don't have to edit anything.
That's true. You just
You
watch
you
it.
you put the window, the video on top of your reaction. You
I always have
put
to do more.
intro and outro,
I have
and
to
that's
make it super fun and interesting.
You don't have to do intro.
Zoom in on my face.
like a live reaction.
No, don't.
You could do it live, and then that could be your reaction.
Yeah, is Jeremiah going to do this special?
No,
I'm.
it's,
Okay.
it's
I'll
not
do
a
it with
yearly
you.
thing though.
It
You guys
could
did it
be.
once,
It could be.
and it got like removed from YouTube because it was.
So what?
it was
People
against
still
the
joined
law.
live.
Yeah, but it's not removed on Twitch, and it's still on Twitch. We could do it on Twitch,
I'm good.
or we can open our Patreon just for that.
I'm good.
Anyways,
People are
there you go.
people are gonna be more disappointed that you haven't watched the VCU than me watching the Christmas special.
That'll be our poll for tonight's episode.
All right.
I'll do it with you, Andrew.
All right.
I need an excuse to watch that horrible thing. Horrible.
All right.
I'm
dog.
gonna try to watch it.
Yeah,
in the
I really like Mando's gun. I think it's really cool, and it makes. Night. I was gonna say Ewoks.
Yo, it freaking torches some Jawas.
Yeah, I'm literally
tell you.
proofs them. I love it. It's a cool gun.
All right, cool. That is all the voicemails we have for today.
Sick.
And we're under
So-
4 hours. See, it's not 6 hours.
We could still. You never know what happens. We always go on tangents.
Drew, did you see my shiny Inte?
Here we go.
No, I'm joking. I mean, I do have a shiny
mine?
Inte, but
I have one too.
anyways, of course you do. Go ahead, Jeremiah.
So, any final thoughts before we do some socials to get out of here? Anything on Ahsoka? Anything?
Next time we're gonna have Andrew on is gonna be for Halloween.
Halloween
Yeah.
special?
Again, if you like spooky things, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, I guess The Last of Us would count. The show Kingdom on Netflix.
Or Zombie, the movie.
Yeah, Train to Busan. If you're a fan of any zombie action, and you're also a fan of Stormtroopers and Star Wars, you probably want to be here for the next EU with Andrew on October 25th.
Dude, Ahsoka, you smell.
I heard her flapping her ears.
Yeah, she flapped right under my desk and she stank.
All right, so social media. So in the description below, there is a links.co/empire, links with 2 eyes, the landing page for everything. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, fan email, leave a voicemail. We got the invite for the Discord. Join the Discord. Chadrick, where you at? Come on, you seem like a fun guy. Join the Discord. The link for the needlesslynerdy.com entertainment network that we're a part of. And that should be everything. I have been told that the link has some people it's not working for some people, but if you type it in, it should work. If just clicking it doesn't work, I don't know what the issue is. Some people have had issues, but it's still up. It still works. So you just might have to try it a couple different ways if it doesn't work by clicking. But other than that, that's how you get in contact with us. We love to hear from you. We love to hang out with you on the interwebs. So we have reaction videos and watch parties and stuff on YouTube. So go check that out. Follow us on YouTube. We're knocking on 500 subscribers on YouTube. So get
This
a
man said, follow us on YouTube.
follow, subscribe to it. Fine.
Samurai, slice that subscribe button.
Yeah, punch it. Punch
Or
that.
Ahsoka.
If you have a touch
Ahsoka
screen on
slide.
your laptop, touch the subscribe button.
Okay, you're going down.
I was going to say, you probably.
Poke the subscribe button.
There you go.
But that's everything. And so moving forward, if you've made it this far, moving forward now for the rest of the year, we got everything. We got the rest of the year planned out. So next week, we'll be starting interviews again. And we have 4 interviews lined up. So next week, we'll be interviewing Retta. So she's been a big active follower for a while now. She's sent in lots of emails or voicemails, and she's active in the Discord. But she's going to be a fun person to interview. So look forward to that. But other than that, anything else, guys?
No.
All right, cool. Well, you've been listening to another Ahsoka-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.
Always.